Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. TikTok Trash Tuesday back in the house, everybody. Let me adjust my tone of these things. There we go. That's better. That's better. It's not so bloody loud. That's good. All right. Well, welcome back to another TikTok Trash Tuesday. But hey, listen, man. I don't know what the hell's going on with this channel. I don't know what's happening. I think YouTube doesn't like me. I don't think YouTube is wanting to get any of my stuff out there to anybody. Oh, it does a portrait segue. That's the wrong button. I want this one. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what YouTube is kind of just blocking everything that I'm doing. I put up a pretty good video that I thought was decent. Zero traction. And it's like one of those, oh, you want to make something that is equivalent to kind of what you've been, normally producing and everything. And the algorithm goes like, oh, your fans enjoy this one. You got over 10,000 new subscribers on account of a cooking video. And when you put out another cooking video, how many of those subscribers do they show it to? Goose egg. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm doing what I normally do, which is keep taking swings, man. I don't care what's going on. I don't care how things go. I don't care if I've got 0 people watching, 1 million people watching. I'm going to continue to do the same shit, hopefully, and do it good enough to the point where somebody will actually notice. And I hope that you'll notice and hit that like and subscribe button, or just at least fucking hit the like button, for God's sakes. It's so easy to do. You just go right there. So simple. I really appreciate it. And if you're the dirtiest of dirty babies, and there's only one person watching this right now, so you're the one who gets to be in charge of this shit. Check this out. I'm going to show you a video. I'm not going to play the audio for it because there's no reason for it. But this is what it looks like to hype a video, everybody. Just right underneath the thing where the thumbs up is, swipe that to the right, hit that hype button, and then you'll be able to actually hype this video and get it out there. It's kind of like a super like. It doesn't cost you anything. It's super simple to do. So if you really want to help this channel out, just hit that hype button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the hype button, all that kind of good crap. I don't want to harp on that all the time, but it is something cool that I don't think a ton of people know about or understand completely, that it exists on YouTube, because I think a lot of times people watch the bigger YouTube channels, and they aren't actually, what's the word? Eligible. They're not eligible for the hype button and everything because they're over X amount of subscribers. I'm a tiny little nothing channel. So that hype actually means a whole hell of a lot if you awesome people want to hit that. Oh, my God. That is a little soda coming to me. Bronson, will you have a seat, buddy? He's just eating, and now he's like walking around just trying to, I don't know, fucking work it off or something. Anywho, we got another TikTok Trash Tuesday here for you. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Some of it's going to be interesting. Some of it, I'm not sure. There's a couple of clips in there that are mighty long, and I try to stay away from the mighty long ones as long as I can because honestly, it just, you got to break up the show a little bit. But hopefully, fingers crossed, some of these long ones will actually be good ones. But let's go ahead and get into it without further delay. TikTok Trash, number 33. Let me hit the right buttons here so I can get all my, there we are.
Sometimes this project can feel like a humiliation ritual because I watched every Paul Thomas Anderson movie in February, and now by my own free will, I'm going to rank them on the internet.
Now, so again, this is kind of post Oscar talk here and everything. And one Paul Thomas Anderson has finally got himself some Oscars and stuff like that. Well, all at once, really. It's pretty great. But I hate that it's for this movie because I think this is one of his lesser movies. I think this is only above Inherent Vice as far as his movies and stuff goes. So, you're going to get some pushback on me. And like I said last week or maybe 2 weeks ago at this point when he was jamming on about he was at BAFTA or something like that, and he was getting the award, and he's just like, oh, movies are finally back, guys. And it's like, yeah, it's only back because you got an award, you asshole. You kind of went back and looked at everybody and said, hey guys, I'm willing to play ball and do all the Hollywood politicking in the right way. And hey, it paid off, baby. It paid off. So, say what you will about the terms of something or other, but I don't want to say too much. Anyways, let's see what this lady thinks of the PTA movies and where she think one battle after another lies, because frankly, it ain't even nowhere near the top for me.
which I'm sure everyone will be super cool and chill about. In last place is Licorice Pizza, which is actually the only PTA movie that I like actively didn't like, and I'm so glad I was not.
You know what I really like about this movie? The movie's good. The movie's pretty good. It's not amazingly good. It's not, top. It's not the Mount Rushmore of PTA movies and everything, but pretty good performance there by the younger Hoffman and the gal from the music group. I'm not aware of. But I like the idea of the movie and stuff. It was pretty good. But the best part about the movie is Bradley Cooper playing John Peterson. That's the best part of that whole damn movie, is him just like trying to get a waterbed in his house and everything. And if you know who John Peters is and you know the John Peters lore, it's delicious. It's so good.
Around for the internet discourse surrounding it, because I actually kind of don't care about the age gap. I care that it's boring. Next is Hard 8.
Hey, listen, I will give it to you. At least that is enough of a decent take. I will take someone's opinion when that's their opinion is I was bored. That's fair enough.
Which is by no means bad. It's actually like a pretty remarkable debut. I just was more into it when it was about gambling than when it was about crime. But even still, the whole way, Philip Baker Hall's performance is so compelling.
Philip Baker Hall absolutely rules in that movie. John C. Reilly, of course, in one of his kind of early, I would say more breakouty kind of roles and stuff like that. I think that's when people started to kind of really notice him. And of course, he continued to be cast in Paul Thomas Anderson films until that point when one day John was a sweetheart and said, "Hey, man, just because I'm your buddy doesn't mean you have to cast me in all these movies. Just wait for a part that's actually right." And he's never worked with him again. I say what you will. It feels like you may have no roles for him at any point. Okay.
I famously don't really like Joaquin Phoenix. I find him very disquieting as like a person and an actor.
Well, at least you put Inherent Vice near the bottom. I will granted credit where credit is due.
But he was so good in this movie. Like, I really ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would. I think I do need to rewatch it though, because I was pretty tired, but I had a good time.
You were tired because you were bored with it. Master is way better than number 7, I would say.
Ranking The Master just above Inherent Vice, because in this, Joaquin Phoenix's whole thing does activate my fight or flight. However, the key difference is that Philip Seymour Hoffman is here, giving
he is so good in that movie. Damn, he's good.
One of the performances of his career. And also, low-key, so is Amy Adams. Fantastic.
Oh yeah. Amy Adams does not get enough praise for her role in that movie. Absolutely.
Thread is one of those movies where I'll watch it and be like, wow, this is an incredibly well-made, well-acted, beautiful-looking movie. But people go fucking feral for this. And I have just like never connected to it like that. I don't know what it is. Maybe one day, but for now it's pretty middle of the pack.
I could understand that viewing.
For me. I was excited to finally get to watch Magnolia, which I did enjoy. I was a little confused sometimes, but a lot of that is because
Baby, we were all confused in what was 1999. Yeah, we were all confused then. We were just like, what's happening here? But like when you really go back and think about Magnolia and how fucking young Paul Thomas Anderson was while Magnolia is going on, it kind of lets you know who that dude was, man. What a smart dude who's just like, I know what I want to see on screen and I can actually, make it happen and stuff. It's so cool.
Just not a man with a father. It did end up feeling like a Robert Altman movie on cocaine, which is so crazy.
That is a great way to describe Magnolia. That is fantastic. I love that. An Altman movie. That's
because
great.
Robert Altman did so much cocaine. Yeah. I'm going to say something vulnerable here on TikTok.com, and that is that oftentimes I don't get the fucking mystical hype around Daniel Day-Lewis. That is my truth, and it is embarrassing as somebody who likes movies, but whatever. However, in this movie, I was like, oh, okay.
I felt that was coming. I felt that was coming from her because that is certainly a performance from Daniel Day-Lewis to where you go, oh, I get it. I get what this guy is doing, and he's something else, boy.
Love Boogie Nights so much. It is such a fun movie. I'm so pissed off.
It's a fun movie, but there's a lot that's not fun in that movie. What are you talking about? There's so much that is very unfun in that movie. Okay.
Off that a 27-year-old made it, but I will watch.
Exactly. Again, another one that's just like, he was so young and he made this with this deft hand about a time period that he didn't even really live through.
Any chance I get. A big reason I chose Paul Thomas Anderson.
I don't know why this is so high. This is now, and I need to go back and rewatch it because I think I may need to see this from another lens. Because I remember watching this, and what's the year? 2002. That sounds right. I remember watching this around that time and everything, and I hated this movie. I hated this movie so much, but I think the reason that I actually hated the movie was because I hated Sandler's character. He was so close to actually having a breakthrough and finally standing up for himself. And this was the moment that you were waiting for this character to finally bloom and just really take control of things, and he didn't. And it just all fell apart, and he ran away with his tail between his legs. And it was just like, it was so frustrating that I absolutely hated the movie. I need to rewatch it again because I feel like at least having this time of separation and enough knowledge of the story, maybe I can see things in a different light. I'm open enough for that.
For this challenge is because of the few movies of his I had seen, I didn't like a lot of them, and so I wanted to give them a second chance. And this was the biggest surprise because Punch Drunk Love went from 3 stars to 5 stars, and that might be because I watched this in a state of like mental and emotional psychosis that was so perfectly tuned to this movie that I literally like 10 minutes in was like, oh no, I get it. And unfortunately, I am Barry.
Oh no. That's a bad sign when you see that. And number 1 is One Battle After Another. Whoo! I don't want to say bandwagon here, nothing but.
But my favorite PTA movie is One Battle After Another. I don't care if it's recency bias or what. All I know is I watched this movie multiple times in theaters. And
why? What'd you get out of it? What do you see the second time? Again, it's such a hollow ass movie that is trying to say something, that is trying to be something, but is falling far, far short of its goals. Yet, and the worst part is that it thinks it's saying something. It thinks it's getting across a message, and it's not. Well, it is, but like it could be so much. It could be so much better than what they're trying to do, which is kind of like a blech. Yeah, she lost me on the last 2. She don't know what I don't know. She's recency bias. She said it herself. She even realizes it's that.
I loved it so much that I was like, I gotta give this guy's filmography a second chance.
Wow.
Tune in next month for Elizabeth Taylor March.
Elizabeth Taylor March, you're gonna have that's a wild ride in and of itself. So good luck to you on that one.
The real reason why all movies are ugly now is way more depressing than you think.
All right. So you know I had to stop it right there. I had to stop it right there as I'm flipping through TikTok, and I'm like, I think we all really know why movies look as bad as they do right now and why movies are kind of ugly. And it's got to do with film versus videotape. You know what I'm saying? Or in this case, digital, because it was still digital on videotape at one point. Just in case you didn't think I know a little bit about the history. But it looks bad now because the science is gone. The science is gone. The magic trick of film is gone, because film is 100% a magic trick. It's a magic trick. It's a science experiment. It's all of those things, and it's a gamble. Video is not a gamble. What you see is what you get, and you would think then that the odds of things looking better and getting more aesthetic, getting more pleasing, because they know what they're getting. They're not gambling. They know what the outcome is, and yet things are getting worse. Let's see what he's got to say.
Why do movies look so washed out and ugly now? Why do they look so bad compared to movies that came out prior to, say, 2010? Some say it's because of all
2010. All right, that's a weird one, but let's see where he's going.
All the CGI. Some people say that it's because everything's shot digitally instead of on film.
As you just heard me say, and I think that is a big giant reason, and it's been going on since before 2010, but we'll count it.
And some people say that it's these horrible color correction techniques that make things look all colorless and muddy. But
there's part of that. There's a handful of that. I think part of it too, and I was yapping at somebody on the internet today about this, about why Netflix movies look the way that they do and how they seem, at least from a visual standpoint, very often to be of a lesser or differing quality than what you would see inside of a movie theater. And the reason for that is, by and large, is because Netflix has a certain, standard of like, these are the cameras that you can use. These are the frame rates. They have all of these stipulations that all of the filmmakers must use in order to have something that is quote unquote viable for Netflix. So as you might then imagine, if you have a restaurant and everybody's using the same ingredients, most of the stuff's going to taste the same. You're only picking from 5 things, so it's not going to be too wild and diverse here. And I think that comes across in a lot of digital stuff now, is that it's just easy, and especially if it's done for a service like Netflix, it's done with this very canned attitude.
None of those things really explain it. It's actually because of one cost-saving measure that every city and movie studio started doing in the 2010s. Cities mostly used to be lit by oil lamps, but in the 1970s, after an oil crisis, they were all replaced by sodium vapor and high-pressure sodium lights.
Are we really about to make the sodium vapor light thing and say that's across all film? And okay, let's again,
these lights give off distinctive yellow and amber glows, and the color and texture of these lights gave every movie from the 1970s to the 2010s its distinctive vibe and atmosphere. The quality and texture of these specific lights became the vibe of movies that we grew up with, and became visually synonymous with what they were supposed to look like. The look was so distinctive that many of the studio set lights manufactured for Hollywood films were designed to emulate the glow that they gave off. However,
I mean, are we not we're just talking about color temperatures here, though? Not for nothing, but you can make picture A look like picture B, or picture B look like picture A, depending upon, like, with pretty relative ease. I agree, and I hate it, and I hate when I'm driving around at night, and not only are they not white lights, they're so white that they're blue, and then it looks like a fucking alien is coming down and stuff. I hate that.
However, in the 2010s, a major change ripped through most cities. All of the sodium lights were replaced by LEDs, which is a type of light that's produced through an electrical process rather than a chemical process, and it's significantly cheaper and more energy efficient. Throughout the early 2010s, the entire
energy efficiency, blow it out your
entire look and vibe of most cities completely changed.
I just, like, I wish I could in real time. I could, but it'd be too much of a setup because I'd have to capture some windows and shit. I could literally make that shit look exactly the same. It's so simple. It's so simple, guys. Come on.
They no longer had the moody atmosphere that happened to be created by these sodium vapor lights. In fact, what is the most recent movie you can think of that was truly atmospheric and beautiful? That really felt like a movie's movie? Was it 2011's Drive starring Ryan Gosling?
No. Nope. Hate to say it. That one looks fake as shit. Drive looks digital as all hell.
Gosling? Well, that's funny because that is the very last film shot in LA before they switched all of the sodium lighting.
Doesn't matter. It's still, I'm just talking about cinematography here. Again, he's getting burnt on some color temperature stuff like that, and like it's fine and good, and like I think there's an argument to be made, but I don't think the fucking city street lights affects the entire film industry like that. I mean, it's a fun narrative. It's a fun little game that we've come up with here, but let's be honest, how likely is this to be the thing?
To LEDs. And along with the city streetlights, the film industry also started to adopt LEDs, both to match how cities look now and also for the same cost-saving reason.
It's mostly the cost-saving reasons. It's cost-saving reasons. It's energy-saving reasons. It's literally heat-saving reasons, because when you've got these giant 10K lights and stuff on you, you're melting wax, baby. It's so flipping hot. But you can have these giant LED things, and they are far, far, far cooler for everybody out there. So, yeah, they're, again, saying that this is all equated to street lights is a little dubious.
So the look of movies just changed. LEDs tend to create a harsher, sharper light that is more flat with less dramatic contrast, which gives everything a more clinical, uninteresting look.
And again, you can always do... This comes off as somebody who thinks that they know what they're talking about, because it is light, like your camera, like all of these things, is another tool. It's another tool in the filmmaker's toolbox. And depending upon who you are and how you implement those tools, that's the success or lack thereof that you will get out of that. I always say that you can hand your little sister an iPhone and tell her to shoot you a movie, and it's probably going to look like ass. But if you hand that exact same iPhone to Steven Soderbergh, he's going to give you Unsane, right? Which is a cinematic looking movie that was shot on like an iPhone 6 or some shit like that, right? It's crazy. But it's all within the actual hands of the artists themselves. So giving this just kind of like blanket, oh, it just cheapens, it does this. I just say that it's such a cheap and easy out for you.
Sure, there are still beautiful films being made by creative filmmakers that find interesting ways to work around the problem of LEDs, but by default, that's just kind of how movies look now. So I'll tell Hollywood the exact same thing I tell my dietitian. Bring back that sodium. And real quick, if you like my videos and you want to see more in-depth writing from me, you can do that here.
Boy, you needed to pick a better color for your font there, my man, because no one could read that. That was small and yellow on white. You see the contrast here on Tuesday versus the trash can? It's design. I'm not holding myself up to some standard. Shut up, everybody. Come on. What's next?
In the 90s, I was the voice of this guy, Dennis the Menace, in the cartoon show, The All-New Adventures of Dennis the Menace.
Oh, yeah. You know Adam here, everybody. You've seen him in a million things growing up. He's one of those faces. And the crazy part is, and I think an amazing part, is he looks exactly the same. He looks like he's just aged into his face, but he looks the same. You know who this guy is just based upon it, but you know what he looked like when he was 9 because he looks the exact same. He's just got a little bit more hair. He's got less wrinkles, no facial hair, but he looks the exact same way that he did when he was 9, which, hey, if you can make it this many years and still look like you did as, when you were 9 and everything, God bless.
And here is a commercial that we played to advertise for that show for your viewing and or nostalgia.
I only can have a couple of seconds of this because otherwise YouTube's going to kick me in the
He's the 6-year-old everyone knows.
Yes, hello, Mr. Wilson.
I don't even have to turn around.
I'm just doing a great Walter Matthau impression, which, let's be honest, he was doing the movie, so it made sense at the time.
I know who.
He's the irrepressible Dennis the Menace.
Me and Ruff brushed our teeth and everything.
Listen, I liked this program when I was a kid, man. It was a good one. It was one that, it was Dennis the Menace. I think millennials are like the only kind of kids that had like a foot in all Dennis the Menace, or at least elder millennials like myself, because we watched, Nick at Night reruns of Dennis the Menace. We saw the cartoons of Dennis the Menace. We saw the newspaper shit of Dennis the Menace. And I think there was like one more thing that I'm missing, but like this, and the 90s remake of Dennis the Menace. So we were up to the brim as millennials with Dennis the Menace, man. That guy is much more ingrained in our psyches than it would be any Gen Z for sure.
Everything.
Fucking A. All right, I guess I cut out all the rest of that. What the hell happened? All right, what's next?
I had a
Oh, there it is. I see what I did. I messed it up in the thing.
blast recording the show. It lasted 2 seasons and it was awesome. But there's a fun fact you may not know. One of the directors of that series was this woman, Sue Blue.
Why do I know this woman's face?
And this clip was taken from a movie that she was in, Friday the 13th, A New
That's what it is.
Blood. And since today is Friday,
Yeah.
March 13th, 2026, what better day to
I wonder what date that I saved this on.
post it than on an actual Friday the 13th? How are you celebrating? Happy Jason Voorhees Day.
How did everybody enjoy this last Friday 13th? Which one did you watch? I popped in Jason Goes to Hell. Tried to watch it as I was going to sleep. Got to sleep quick. Just say that. The Oscars in memorandum ignored Sam Raimi's pal, Scott Spiegel, and Josh Becker. Mad, if I'm to understand, who else? There was a couple other, notable. Vanderbeek, I think, was not on there. There's at least 1 or 2 more that you would go like, oh, I feel like that guy certainly would have been there, but no. You never know. But then there's always time for like producer none of you bastards have ever heard of.
If money is evil, then that building is hell. This is the most obnoxious group of money-hungry, low...
I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is Robert Downey Jr. when they asked him. I think initially they wanted him, Oliver Stone wanted Robert Downey Jr. in Wall Street, but he went to Wall Street to kind of like see what things were, and this was his reaction.
IQ, high energy, jackrabbit, fucking wannabe, big time, small time, shit talking, bothersome, irritating bunch of motherfuckers I have ever had to endure for more than 5 minutes.
Not for nothing, but you're a Nepo baby, buddy. You are a Nepo baby who got into this business because of your dad. I mean, you are Robert Downey Jr. He is Robert Downey Sr. Listen, I know a lot of people don't like when they see their reflections a little bit in the mirror. So my guess is that might be a little bit of what old RDJ here was kind of going through. He saw a little bit of himself. And sometimes when we see ourselves, we get really angry and we just go like, hold on. And you want to call somebody else out for something that you yourself also do.
Am I missing something?
DVDs on the Run, a drive-through DVD rental store. Has anyone seen this? I stopped it right here because I was like, what in the sweet hell is going on? Like, first of all, I'm excited. I like the idea that this exists. But at the same time, part of me goes, why not just open up a store? Why have it be a drive-through? I know that like maybe you're going home from work and everything and you want to stop by, get a movie or whatever. Do you just drive up to the window and just be like, do you have Martyrs? And they're like, Martyrs? Fucking no. You want Jurassic World 3? And you're like, all right, fine. Well, I'll take Jurassic World 3. And then you just pull up to the next window and then you go off. Is that how that works? I want DVD stores to exist. I want rental places to exist. I don't know that drive-through is the way to go, though. It seems a bit strange.
DVDs on the Run drive-through? I don't think that's going to be a thing.
And it's a new building, too. That's the crazy part, is they got enough money to get a new joint. They're not just putting in, all of their POS systems into a former, Jersey Mike's or something like that. No. They're building a building.
I just don't see that.
I don't know, man.
You watch enough Black Oscar-winning movies back to back, and you notice.
I stopped it right there, and I'm like, what? I can't wait to see what he talks about. I have no idea. We stopped it right there. Let's go.
A trend. There's one or two ways, for the most part, that black people win Oscars, and that is for either depicting black trauma or playing a slave.
Well, yeah.
And I mean a slavey slave, too. Like, you think he this ain't your first day on the plantation. You got to be like...
I just got a great idea for a horrible comedy that no white guy could ever do. It's done in the antebellum South, slave times, and it's the slave's first day on the plantation. He's brand new there. He's super excited about the job. He just thinks it's a great opportunity, and he wants to work really hard. He doesn't quite understand what slavery is per se yet. And it's a comedy about him coming to grips with the tragedy of the Civil War. He's going, hold on, what's going on now? He's very Pollyanna. He's just kind of like, he's having a good time. Terrible. I can't make that movie. Maybe you can.
A vet in the slave game, dog. You play a vet slave, you getting an Oscar, or at least a nod. And I don't like that shit, man, because it's like, yo, we can do other stuff too. This ain't the only way we can get an Oscar. I'll be watching.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Denzel Washington won an Oscar correctly. You are right. He was a former slave for In Glory, right? But then Denzel wins another one, if I'm not mistaken. Or he's at least nominated. I know he's nominated. I'm fairly certain he won, though. for Malcolm X. Malcolm X, most assuredly, not a slave. I think like I would have been sitting in this audience and then this realization would have hit me. And then I would, for maybe in the wrong way, maybe meanly so, I wouldn't think anything else was funny because I'd be like, wait a minute, Denzel won for Malcolm X. This doesn't hold up. I get that way with comedy sometimes. There was a guy once I remember in an open mic thing, he was talking about, what do they do with all the mutants that don't have cool powers? And I was just like, Genosha. I'm like, that's the answer. Like they literally send all the misfits to Genosha. So I'm like, Grant Morrison told us all about this. So I'm like, it's a thing. You asking this question negates all of your comedy. It's gone because they've already answered it, 15 years prior to when this thing happened.
All these movies, Morgan Freeman, he had to drag that white lady around. Fucking Halle Berry had to fuck ugly ass Billy Bob Thornton. Why? She's a queen. Why she had to fuck this crackhead man?
Because she didn't have no makeup on, see? She took the makeup off and all of a sudden it was like, gross. Gross. I don't want anything to do with Halle Berry with no makeup on. Forget about it. No. Get real.
The guy from 12 Years a Slave, whatever his name is, he was, a slave for 12 years. You know what I'm saying? These the Oscars we get, dog.
Chiwetel Ejiofor didn't win an Oscar for 12 Years a Slave, did he? I feel like somebody, there were some Oscars in that, but I don't think Chiwetel won one for that. Could be wrong. I haven't watched the Oscars in years. What's next?
Benicio del Toro, Sigourney Weaver.
This was the only reason that I kind of almost missed watching the Oscars was to have Matt Berry do the announcements and stuff, because that just seemed like the best idea ever. If there's any reason why we should turn on the Oscars, it's got to be Matt Berry.
And of course, Basil Rathbone.
Rathbone is one of the best.
Oprah. Antonio Banderas. Amy Madigan. Renée Zellweger. Will Arnett. Channing Tatum. Denzel Washington. Glenn Close. Disney Cruise Line. Here.
Disney Cruise Line. What is what?
On ABC, Burger King.
Burger King. Come on down to the Burger King and get yourself a Whopper. A Whopper is also a nickname for my penis.
Scum. Wagner Mora. Together we can keep climbing. Delroy Lindo. Los Angeles. The best Whopper you've ever tasted. Marilyn's movie costumes. Bill Pullman and Louis Pullman. Demi Moore. Best
Demi Moore.
Where magic meets the sea. Well, that's live TV for you.
That's live TV, and I've been drinking since 4 p.m. Anyways, here's Sean Penn's avatar to take his Oscar for him or some such shit. Which, by the way, I don't know that we're going to talk about any of that within the aspect of any of these videos or anything. But Sean Penn winning for that movie. Whoo! What a piece of garbage, bro. Absolutely terrible. And he was awful in that movie. He was terrible. He was like playing Donald Duck the entire time. You don't think so? Go and watch, type in like Donald Duck military, and then watch One Battle After Another and Sean Penn's performance. If you don't see the same thing, you ain't looking hard enough. Best joke of the Oscars. She appeared in 74 movies. He appeared in 74 movies just last year. Please welcome Sigourney Weaver and Pedro Pascal. That is a good joke. And not a bad cold read, I'll say as well. Just for everybody that shits on Adam for not being a reader, I read that cold and it was pretty damn good.
Hey, horror fans, here's
Hey, CHH, what's up, buddy?
something crazy I did not know.
Return of the Living Dead, oh yeah.
Remember this DVD release of Return of the Living Dead from MGM? This is a glow-in-the-dark DVD. If you look really close, you can slightly see the outlines around the zombies. So if you get your room really, really dark,
or if you get on enough of that Zaza,
this DVD will glow in the dark. Now, because it's so old, it doesn't work that well, but if you have this DVD...
There's a certain thing within like that, those kind of glow in the dark things, certain, not Indiglo stuff, but whatever the old, there's some old kind of mineral things or whatever way back in the day that they had for watches and stuff that would essentially make them kind of illuminescent and glow in the dark and stuff like that. And over time, those that would degrade and couldn't see crap. And this is much the same way.
Go find it and put some bright light on it and then go in a pitch black room and you will see this outline show up in the pitch black.
Spooky. Good job, Adam. Have some Adam smack. All right, what next?
If I got nominated for an Oscar, I would probably try and win.
I'm gonna say that's a sound strategy. Sound strategy.
I would try and win that award.
Why aren't the rest of you thinking like this? You know, she could actually come through and like save Hollywood and everything. She could be the one. She's telling what you need to know. If you want to win an Oscar, why don't you try, you sons of bitches? Exactly. What's next?
Last night, one battle after another, director Paul Thomas Anderson won 3 Academy Awards. Among those were Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Adapted Screenplay.
Ooh, I don't know that I agree with any of those takes. His work on his adaptation was Thomas Pynchon's book or whatever the fuck it was that he wrote. He wrote something and he adapted it. And I think much like his work with Pynchon in Inherent Vice, I feel like they're close to the same. I think One Battle After Another is better than Inherent Vice because Inherent Vice feels like it's up its own ass in a different way. But yeah, I don't care for any of those. Best Director, no. I don't think it's Ryan Coogler either. Just so you know. Best Picture, certainly not. But again, it's the Oscars. None of this is about what is the best. It's all about politics and bullshit. And maybe Michael's going to talk about bullshit. I don't know.
Now, for many of you, he was your villain of award season and for the Oscars period. He was the one you didn't want to see win. A lot of you hated One Battle After Another.
Yes.
A lot of you loved it clearly, but a lot of you hated it. Whether it's Sinners fans, Hamlet fans, Marty Supreme fans.
None of the above. Gang, gang.
Everybody else fans, you wanted to see this man lose.
And here's the thing. I wanted to see him lose for this movie. I didn't want to see him lose for many of his other films. Most of his other films, I would love to have seen him done really well. I mean, if he would have gotten one for Magnolia, I think that would have been well-deserved, certainly at that particular time. The Master, I certainly think he should have gotten an Oscar for that. Like, there's so many more things that he's done that was better than this movie, but this movie checks the Hollywood check boxes in the current milieu, ergo it won. It is what it is.
I'm not going to quarrel with him being the villain of the season and you being upset about this, but I want to redirect your anger for why he is your villain, okay?
I explain my reason. Let's see if he can come up with what I just gave you. I don't think he will, but I'm open.
Redirect it away from One Battle After Another. In order to do this, we have to rewind 13 years before the release of One Battle to see his film The Master being released to the public.
I just told you how much I love The Master.
Now, The Master is a film that many would say should have gotten the recognition that One Battle After Another should have gotten last night.
Correct.
It's a tremendous film. I think it is a far superior film in its quality.
70 millimeter. It's just so gorgeous looking. Philip Seymour Hoffman's performance is unbelievably good. Stand out. He just kind of walks around. He's strutting. He's just doing everything. And Joaquin his performance is so subdued and subtracted and kind of just in himself and everything. And he's so, he lost so much weight and he's gaunt and it's so good.
A number of reasons. So you may be like, why? Why, if you think he made this great film, The Master, so many years ago, and you thought it deserved the accolades?
I mean, there's The Master. I think The Phantom Thread is better than this movie by a long stretch.
Why would he be a villain today? I will tell you why. Because The Master pretty clearly, despite what director Brady Corbet wants to say, had an influence on one of the primary award season contenders of 2025, which was The Brutalist. Now, my reason...
I never watched The Brutalist. Somebody just, I don't know. There are too many people who just go like, hey, here's a 3-hour movie. And I'm just like, you got to get me going for a 3-hour movie, man. You got to get me going. You got to have some hobbits and shit. I ain't gonna lie.
For Paul Thomas Anderson being a villain is not because my hate for The Brutalist, simply because that movie is terrible.
Never saw it, so I can't comment on it. I wouldn't assume to do so unless I had. I think you guys know the rules.
With a lot of terrible themes, the form isn't great, not only because it is striving to be this grandiose, transcendental experience that it almost wholly just accepts that is what is good about movies instead of making us feel this. No. It's not because of those reasons. If we didn't have The Master, we likely wouldn't have The Brutalist. And if we didn't have The Brutalist, we wouldn't have to have sat here and watched Adrian Brody spout nonsense for like an hour on stage.
What? I mean, this is so great for me because, again, as somebody who's been doing HMP for 10 years every night every Sunday night, we've missed out on this. I used to kind of have it up on the secondary screen and kind of watch, from the wings and whatnot, but it got too distracting after a while and you just turn it off. But years and years of not watching the Academy Awards has been quite great for me. Him bitching about Adrian Brody going on for a set. Guess who never had to sit through 1 second of it, baby? This guy right here, because he's a genius. Don't watch this shit. It ain't for you. It's for them. It's a self-congratulatory jerk fest put on by a whole bunch of jerks. So why do you want to give them the time and the energy and the attention that they so desperately want? And I say desperately want because we are in the era right now where they're sinking.
Was saying a whole lot of nothing.
Like I just did.
For not only his weak movie, but for his weak self. What? If your name is not Wes Anderson, do not touch Brody.
Adrian Brody and Wes Anderson, they do have a good little it kind of works. He gets that quirkiness in check there. I like.
Mike get another award. I say all this to say, if you have hate in your heart and you're directing it at somebody, please make sure you're directing it for the right reasons.
Hey, listen, if anything, I am always somebody who, when they hate, is hating for a reason. I don't just hate to hate. Trust me, there is hate that comes from my heart. It only comes from my heart. It doesn't come from, no, I'm thinking about it. I'm going, you know what? I hate this. You definitely don't agree with any of those takes. That's exactly. I am willing and open to hearing as many different, thoughts as anyone is willing to have. I'm willing to hear them. I'm not a closed-minded person.
When Warner Brothers hired Joss Whedon to finish Zack Snyder's Justice League in 2017, it was supposed to be a rescue mission.
Well, it was. It was a rescue mission, as we found out a bit time later. Old Joss Whedon stepped in because Zack Snyder had a death in the family, and a pretty close one. And so he had to step out. He gave Joss all the kind of everybody that really puts the death of this movie on Joss Whedon is stupid. I'm not saying that Joss Whedon made it better by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not saying that he's the one who made this movie suck ass. No, this movie was going to suck ass no matter who was on it, right? He was entrusted with this movie. He was handed this movie and said, here are the things that we want to fix. We're going back to do these and fix these. You need to do them. You need to go fix them. Do these. Here are the parameters. Have at it. And he did that. What he did was pretty much what Snyder wanted. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be in the movie. Snyder still had final cut here and everybody. I promise you, he watched the last one and said, that's fine. Put that up there. He might have been going through it, but I think the man also knows, hey, I gotta sign off this thing at the end of the day. But you'll never hear him talk about that. You'll never hear any of the fans talking about that because it's easy and fun to ignore. It's fun to ignore the fact that he had to sign off on this shit. It didn't just go to Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers was just like, well, Joss, it's all your hands now. Do what you want. No.
Snyder had stepped away from the project following a family tragedy, and Whedon, riding high from directing 2 box office shattering Avengers films for Marvel, seemed like the perfect choice to deliver a more accessible, audience-pleasing superhero film. Instead, what followed was one of the most spectacular professional implosions in modern Hollywood. Whedon not only
Now, I will say this, that may be true because of the behind-the-scenes stuff, because as many people kind of knew, it wasn't exactly a Hollywood secret that Joss Whedon was kind of a shithead, you know? Sometimes when you give, ugly nerdies a whole bunch of rich and famous stuff, they get to kind of be assholes.
failed to save Justice League, he torched his reputation, alienated cast members, and ignited a string of exposés and allegations that culminated in his near-complete exile from the film industry. So how did he do it? To find out what went wrong, let's take a look at
a mustache. So great.
How Justice League destroyed Joss Whedon's career. Whedon's early career started off with an impressive bang, with his breakout series.
Impressive bang. Can you people stop talking like this? Quit it. Stop talking like the Burger King foot lettuce guy. You really need to get your shit in order, man. I'm tired of you dummies thinking you're doing some sort of announcer voice and you sound like complete and utter buffoons.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, redefining what genre television could look like, blending horror, drama, and witty.
See how that voice is? It's like you're putting weird inflections where they don't belong.
Banter. Buffy starred a charismatic, empowered.
Stop it, Jesus.
Heroine, who battled both supernatural demons and high school angst. It was here that Whedon developed the quippy dialogue that he would one day become known for. He followed Buffy with Angel, a spin-off with a slightly darker tone, and then Firefly, a Star Wars space western that, despite its short run, became a cult hit among sci-fi fanatics. Whedon became especially noted for creating what were considered at the time strong female characters, independent,
but it turns out he was just trying to bang them all.
Capable women who could hold themselves in a fight and hold their own with their male counterparts. At the time, this was seen as a feminist achievement, and it earned him accolades from both fans and critics.
Turns out he was just trying to get in everybody's panties.
By the time Marvel and Disney were looking for someone to helm the Avengers, Whedon had proved himself to be an obvious choice, as a master of juggling ensemble casts and injecting levity into high-stakes narratives. His ability to balance action with character-driven humor helped turn the Avengers into a cultural event and box office juggernaut. The ripples of which are still being felt today. In the wake of Marvel's massive success with the Avengers and the wider MCU, Warner Brothers wanted their own interconnected superhero universe featuring their own characters. Under director Zack Snyder was chosen to spearhead the creative direction of what would become the DCEU. To distinguish this new universe from the MCU, Snyder's vision was darker, more operatic, and more mythological than Marvel's quippy, brighter, crowd-pleasing fare. However, after Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice received mixed reviews and underperformed at the box office.
Whenever I think about all of these movies, they make me mad. Oh, they make me mad with how just shit they are. How much money they spent. How many dum-dums really like the garbage ones. All the Snyder Cut people. Because here's the thing. As much as you might want to hate whatever Joss Whedon did, you name it, whatever. Zack Snyder's just as bad. Zack Snyder just is not great. He hasn't done anything amazing since the Dawn of the Dead remake, you know? Or Dawn of the Dead.
Warner Brothers grew uneasy with Snyder's creative vision. With production of Justice League underway, DC's first major team-up film, executives began pressuring Snyder to steer towards a lighter, more humorous tone similar to the Avengers, and would even hire Joss Whedon, writer and director of the Avengers, to rewrite the script. Snyder, tired from battling to maintain his vision and also dealing with a family tragedy, decided
they go rewrite the script. That's not where they were in the setup, dude. This is all a bunch of revisionist history from people that weren't paying attention at the time, and they go like, I think I know all the stuff. I did a YouTube video on this channel way back when about the Snyder Cut, about all of those things. Please go watch that. I'm a lot fatter, so that shows you how long ago it was. But no, this is all revisionist shit.
To step away, as Whedon would take over the project completely. Whedon rewrote substantial portions of the script, shot new scenes for the movie, and dramatically shifted the overall style, tone, and direction of the film.
Again, no, he didn't. No, you're wrong. You're dead fucking wrong. And all of the Snyder things is like, here's what the Snyder Cut is and all this bullshit. they have the gall to look at you and say, oh yeah, he designed this to be in 4:3 in black and white. Fuck you. Fuck you. No, you didn't. None of this is true. All of this is revisionist bullshit history. And no one should take any of this shit seriously, because this is a lie, dude. This is a lie. Joss Whedon didn't do this shit. The whole thing was practically fucking done. And then of course, now Zach has to go back and have that revision. It's like, hey, they fucked up with everything. I didn't want to do this. No, you got a mulligan.
Among his decisions was to make the final battle more relatable to audiences by including the now infamous Russian family hiding in their house. However, that entire storyline would be criticized for feeling like it was shoehorned into the film. Whedon also added a lot more humor into the script, the most juvenile being a moment where the Flash lands face first into Wonder Woman's cleavage.
Who cares? Who fucking cares? There's so much more to shit on about this movie. It's just like, who cares?
A gag Whedon had already used before in Age of Ultron between Bruce and Natasha.
You don't like a face and some titties? What's wrong with you?
The most glaring areas of change was Superman. Nearly all of the Man of Steel scenes in Whedon's cut were reshot or reworked. The result was an awkward and often jarring performance from Henry Cavill, who had grown a thick, bushy mustache for his role in Mission Impossible Fallout, which he was filming at the same time as Whedon's reshoots, meaning the mustache had to be digitally removed frame by frame.
And it looked like ass.
This decision became a running joke online, and emblematic of the splash dash quality of the reshoots. It's impossible not to notice the strange
I liked the idea of the kind of opening that Josh kind of did. I like the idea of it, but like when you're looking at it, you're like, huh? What's wrong here?
Shape of Cavill's upper lip in the reshot scenes. Most notably, the opening iPhone footage of Superman talking to a fan. Whedon also removed all appearances of the looming villain Darkseid, who featured prominently in Snyder's.
Oh yeah, and then when it came back in the Snyder Cut, it was so much better. It's the same shit. It's the same shit, people. Get over yourselves.
Original cut. Though his presence wasn't significant, it was consistently felt looming over the heroes as an oncoming threat to prepare for, much like Thanos and the original Avengers. Whedon's cut erased this greater narrative arc, turning Steppenwolf into a generic villain.
Looked awful. That was bad. All the Steppenwolf, the redone Steppenwolf, it's all shit. It's all shit.
Whedon also added an additional post-credit scene.
That one's fine. The idea of that Superman versus Flash, and it's quick. There's nothing to it, so whatever.
In which Superman and the Flash compete in a lighthearted race. This scene preceded Snyder's intended post-credit scene.
Oh boy! And where did that get us? Where did that get us, boys and girls? Nowhere.
Much more ominous Batman solo movie tease with Lex Luthor telling Deathstroke that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Oops-a-doodle. Nothing happened.
Tonal whiplash between these scenes.
But the Snyder Cut, everybody! The Snyder Cut!
Symbolizes the larger identity crisis plaguing the film. Whedon's approach clashed so dramatically with Snyder's original vision that the finished film felt like two incompatible movies fused together. But worst of all, for Warner Brothers, Whedon didn't save the movie. A studio executive is reported to have said, when we got to see what Joss actually did, it was stupefying. The robber on the rooftop, so goofy and awful. The Russian family, so useless and pointless. Everyone.
Y'all acting like the execs didn't approve of this shit. This is all hindsight from everybody going like, we didn't even know. No. All of you suck the. I'm trying to stay on YouTube.
I knew it. It was so awkward because nobody wanted to admit what a piece of crap it was. The critical reception was equally damning.
Oh man, 86% though with the audiences.
And with production costs having massively exploded through the excessive reshoots, Justice League failed to break even financially, forcing Warner Brothers to reassess their entire approach to the DCU.
Yeah, how's it been working out?
Planned sequels and spin-offs were shelved or delayed, and the studio's ambitions for a tightly.
Oh boy. What are we doing here?
The second he started going after Chalamet.
I'm told there's concerns about attacks from both the opera and ballet communities.
Yeah, old Timothy Chalamet said something about ballet and the opera not being, exciting, fun things anymore. It's kind of a thing that's kind of passed us by and is not giant and popular. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I think those are viable art forms, of course. I think there are art forms that have lasted a very, very long time, and I think will continue to last a very long time. But if you think that right now opera and ballet are super, super prevalent and important in the American landscape and cultural society, you're wrong. You're wrong. And listen, my last girlfriend was an opera singer. She was a former opera singer. So like, I know this exists. I know they're real people, but it's not the flourishing thing that, I'm sure that a bunch of, namby-pamby Hollywood folk would like you to believe that it is. It ain't that though. You guys have rose-colored nostalgia glasses for things that just aren't anymore. It's true.
They went after him so badly because, he was the whipping boy. He was the whipping boy for what happened. The whole
kind of fucking undertone music you got in this, homie.
Thing that he did.
I want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore.
It's true. It's true. No one cares about these things anymore because a lot of these places are pricing themselves out of things. Ask the New York Broadway scene how things are going. It's going terribly. It's going terribly. So no, these things are not popping anymore. All right, they're not a thing. So you just going like, but it's still a good piece of art form. That's fine, but it's not a thing that people are passionate about anymore. Now, if and you want it to be that, perhaps you ought to start pushing in that direction. But until then, you can't be complaining about it if you ain't going to opera and you ain't going to ballet. I only been to one ballet in my entire life, and it was by accident. I somehow won a contest or something, and I got 2 tickets to Edward Scissorhands. Now, I thought it was a play. I was like, all right, we're going to go see a play of Edward Scissorhands. This will be interesting. See, Tim Burton's movie kind of looks like it's out of a weird kind of play sort of deal. So, it feels like this would make sense. And then about 5 minutes in, my dad and I kind of looked at each other and we were like, I don't think there's going to be words in this. Everyone was just dancing around, and it was a ballet, but we were watching a ballet of Edward Scissorhands. I don't know. By the end of it, I was like, well, it was interesting. Did it make me run out to go see a ballet again? No.
Yeah. Because Chili knew, you're sitting in the front row like that.
Yeah.
He knew. If there was one person that shouldn't have shown up, it wasn't Sean Penn. It was Chalamet.
All right. Those boys find themselves funnier than I find myself. I'll tell you that much.
What are today's horror films actually about?
Nothing. Today's movie's about nothing. We like the Seinfeld of horror times. Movies about nothing.
Every generation reflects their anxieties into their media. In the 50s and 60s, it was all about the fear of the atomic bomb. And the idea of you and everyone you know could die in an instant created a mindset that, well, if I'm not here for a long time, then I am definitely here for a good time.
Elvis taught us all that, didn't he, boys?
And the older generations took notice that young Americans were not thinking of their futures. So in the 70s and 80s, horror films were either trying to scare you back into church or scare you into pursuing a college career so that you would take life more seriously. Notice how the last remaining survivors are usually studious virgins that uses their wits to outsmart the working class monsters, who a lot of times had sympathetic backstories because they wanted you to see that evil is something that could be understood, defeated, or completely avoided.
And that is one of the more interesting things. Or in cases like Michael Myers, when you don't know at all, when there is just pure ultimate evil out there, and why movies like Rob Zombie's Halloween take away from the great narrative of, hey, this was just a kid that went bonkers one day,
But in the 90s, the horror genre falls off and becomes niche because audiences just want to laugh for a change, so both comedy and horror comedy become far more popular. But then 2001 happens, and then shortly after, we invade Iraq and we get super serious again. Horror makes a comeback, but now it's exploring Gen X and Millennials' anxieties. Because for them, it's been one anxiety-inducing event after another.
And I'm sorry, but yes, but that's every generation. And I think every generation looks at itself and goes, woe is me. We are the toughest. We've had it the toughest, blah, 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 blah. This shit's a tale as old as time. I'm tired of everyone of just you've all got rose tinted glasses and everybody wants to be victim numero uno. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm tired of it. I just want people to just go like, hey, life's tough, life's difficult. Fucking get with it. Just get with it, man. You're gonna have to go through life. It's rough. It's the same for everybody. You ain't fucking special. Your generation isn't special. Your generation doesn't have it any better or any worse than any other generation because there are trade-offs for all of them. Everybody's like, we got things better than they did. They had some things better than we do. It's a wash. It's a wash. Anybody is sitting there and just be like, oh, we got it the toughest. Fuck you, you self-entitled moron.
With seemingly no end in sight, and so the horror genre has become increasingly more nihilistic. No longer is the monster something that can be defeated. Instead, characters are trapped in an endless loop of suffering.
No, I listen, and again, I think that's a good thing to have that as a point in kind of the horror scale. I think there does need to be a point where we talk about evil being defeated. I think there is, he's right in that there is a bit of lack of that these days. But at the same time, too, there is also the truity, I suppose, that evil kind of never really goes away. Evil is always going to kind of be there under the surface. Things are different.
By a monster that cannot be understood, that has no clear motives and is relentlessly killing for seemingly no reason. And it feels like every new horror film, the threat is becoming bigger and more abstract. And it's more popular for horror films to have ambiguous imagery that the directors claim have no meaning. Monsters' backstories are no longer explored and are just pushing this idea that evil just is. And
yeah, but here's the thing. I think there's a place and spot for both, and I think both need to be there. And I think that's what, makes horror and film itself interesting, is that we have a variety of these options. It's not just one particular thing.
It's everywhere. And just like the anxious generations before, we too are worried about our children's future. Talk to Me is made by millennial directors about Gen Zers who treat possession like it's a party game.
Yeah, and it's wildly effective in that movie too.
A metaphor for substance abuse, but on a deeper level, it's the anxiety we feel in handing a child an iPad or a phone. Knowing full well they'll become addicted and can now theoretically talk to whoever they want.
And it's, that's why that movie is so great, because you can look at things from so many different meta levels and stuff like that. That's why I was really a big fan of these guys, and of course, Bring Her Back from last year as well.
And we know that we will lose them to it. Like how Bring Her Back is about a Gen X mother that just wants to speak to her Gen Z daughter again. It's like the older we become, reality as we once knew it feels like it's slipping away. Because we'll eventually be existing inside of an AI hellscape where nothing is real anymore. That's why you see so many movies about people clipping out of reality. We're no longer afraid of the world breaking like we used to be. Because we already know that it broke a long time ago and we cannot prevent our children from falling in its cracks.
Right, because that's life. That's what all the people say. Shit happens, and you can't stop it. You cannot stop the world from spinning. You cannot stop yourself and your loved ones and everyone from eventually leaving this mortal coil. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You're not special.
Because we know deep down it was only a matter of time.
And again, I don't know. Everybody also wants to play for the most cynical role, It's like, no. I'm the one who's the most jaded about everything. Fuck you. Put a smile on your face, you sad sons of bitches. Your life ain't that fucking bad. Out of all the things in the world, of all the places, of all the times that you could have been, whatever time you got dropped in, you're pretty lucky. You could have been dropped in a lot worse time. I can tell you that much.
Oh, okay. Revenge tour begins now for Mr. Timmy Tim. He announced on his Instagram, Dune 3 trailer dropping tomorrow. How about that? Earlier today, we got an early look for Dune 3. Now,
anybody see the Dune trailer? I think it came out today. I didn't watch it because I don't normally watch trailers. I might watch a teaser trailer, get a little hype, maybe, hopefully. But I don't know. It's watching trailers ain't high on my priority list no more.
We're getting an official first poster for Dune Part 3, also known as Dune Messiah, coming out December 18th. And we get the trailer coming out tomorrow. There's also rumors that Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer's coming out this weekend. So I love how it feels like Dune's soul.
I wonder if they're going to do Satan in Brand New Day. You know what I mean? I mean, it's in Marvel continuity. He's Mephisto, but that's Satan. Whatever, makes a deal with the devil in order for everybody to forget that he's Spider-Man. Because if you remember at the end of that last Spider-Man film, they said Peter Parker Spider-Man. Everybody knows. It's like, oh shit, what are we gonna do here? Well, the easy answer is Brand New Day, where you make a deal with the devil to save your Aunt May. But when you do so, well, fucking Aunt May's already dead in this universe. So I don't know how they're going to pull that one off. But in the story, Aunt May's life is on the line yet again. And he makes a deal to bring her back because she's not ready to go yet. She's been 97 years old since Spider-Man 1. She was a jillion years old then. But okay, he wants to keep her alive for a little bit longer for whatever reason. But then not only does everybody not know he's Spider-Man, Mary Jane doesn't know he's Spider-Man, he has to go back to being the most anonymous superhero that there ever did be. I don't know how they're going to pull that off. I know it's just, thank God we don't do a hero movie podcast, and it's half-ass movie podcast, so I don't have to feel obliged to sit through these things yet again and just go, God help me.
Purpose is to overshadow these Marvel movies this year. But after an Oscar loss, is 2026 going to be revenge season for Timothée Chalamet?
Make it a revenge. This guy says it just right. Dot. No doubt.
Is Dune Part 3 going to do what we hope for it to do? And just win the Oscar.
I hope it ends it and puts a button on it and makes it look nice and stuff. That's all I care about. Make it look cool.
Let's find out tomorrow when we get our first look.
I didn't do and watch it. All right. All right. Well, let's go.
Wonderful. That's what I say.
My thoughts on PTA's Best Picture speech starts at 30 seconds. I'm going to watch the 30 seconds from the speech because I didn't see the speech, and I'm going to hear someone else's take on it. So, again, this is all fresh and brand new to me as well.
That in 1975, the Oscar nominees for Best Picture were Dog Day Afternoon, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jaws, Nashville, and Barry Lyndon.
What a downgrade that we have gotten ourselves into. Am I right or am I right, boys? Am I right or am I right? Are we not in a shit state of movies when that's the comparison? Woo! Bad news bears for us, boys and girls.
There is no best among them. There is.
Yeah, there is. It's Jaws.
Just what that mood might be that day. But we're happy to be part of this.
You're not as good as Jaws, PTA. Let's slow our roll here. All right. I know Jaws didn't win that year, but fuck you. That's my Best Picture.
Wonderful, wonderful journey with our fellow nominees, our fellow filmmakers that even weren't recognized by the Academy. There's so many great films.
Oh my God, kissing ass left and right. Oh my Lord.
Knows PTA. He knows this was such a classy thing for PTA to do at this.
Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson knows what he's doing, ladies and gentlemen. He's playing the game. That's how he got those Oscars, is he played that game. What he's doing right now is playing that game. Without doing it overtly, he is kissing Ryan Coogler's ass and ergo everyone else's ass in a weird way. Because let's be honest, a lot of people really love Sinners and wanted that to win some stuff. And it won some things, don't get me wrong. It did. I don't know if we'll go over those in this video because it is what it is. But it didn't win all the big ones. It didn't win Best Picture. It didn't win Best Director. It's like,
moment. There was going to be Sinners and one battle after another. The winner knew that there would be a whole legion of people supporting the other.
Right. Yeah.
Film. And instead of just pretending like that's not the case, PTA addressed it pretty head on, right? And talked about the politics.
I don't know. That seemed like a little dodgy to me. Just be like, hey, we're all winners. We're all winners. Just like PTA said when he won that BAFTA award, where all of a sudden he was just like, hey, we're all making good movies now. They say there are no good movies. Now that I got an award, this is a good movie. Movies are back. Movies are back because I'm winning awards. Oh, but you're good movies too. You make also good movies. So shut up, Paul Thomas Anderson. You sew up your own ass.
To the Academy just because one battle after
You played that game, PTA. You played the game and you won it. God bless you. But fucking Harvey Weinstein himself couldn't have done it as well.
another wins Best Picture, it doesn't mean that any of the other films, except maybe F1, are less deserving. PTA knows what it feels.
Oh, some smack on to F1. Listen, I wasn't wild about F1, but no, still.
Feels like to lose an Oscar. He won his first Oscar yesterday after being nominated, I think, 14 times.
Kind of fucked up. And again, it all goes to the big Hollywood brouhaha and lie that any of this is about the Best Picture. It's about timing. It's about like, when was your turn to get this Oscar? You know, when deserve it during your career or whatever. There's so many times where they give it to somebody who's not deserving of the Oscar. I think this is one of those cases.
Really class act for him to tap into that learned humility.
And I think they go, Ryan Coogler, he's a very young guy. He's got so many more years to him. Paul Thomas Anderson is in his 60s now, or damn close to it. So he's not going to be around forever and a day. So we want to give him his flowers since we ignored him for all of these great films. Let's finally give it to him for this one, even though it is lesser.
And he took a moment at the beginning of his speech to really recognize the fact that it was a stacked competition.
I am a white man on indigenous land. I'm surprised we didn't get one of those. All right, this dog is bugging me to use the restroom here. So I am going to do that real fast, and we'll come back for the second half of TikTok Trash Tuesday. I don't want to say that. That's not the one. That's not the one I want. Stand by. We'll be right back. That's what I'm going to do. So give me just a second here. We're going to quick walk of the old dog, and we'll be right back in the game, everybody. If I can hit the button. All right, I'll be right back. All right. I go away and I come back to more viewers. Isn't that weird? When I start talking, the viewers disappear. Jesus Christ, dog. Go lay in your bed. My word. All right, let's get back into it.
Of course, we here at the Oscars are always trying to figure out ways to reach a younger demographic.
Of course they are, because all it is now is old fuddy-duddies, and I fear that it's going to continue that way and get more and more irrelevant as the years go by.
And I've been assured this next segment will do just that. When you're host mastering the Oscars and low-genuinely trying to rizz up the younger demographic by going brain rot mode, and even though you're unk-coated with a bunch of fame-filled NPCs, you're still S-tier level or a farming 6-7.
That's what y'all watching. That's what y'all watching at the Academy Awards. Really? Okay. Nothing exactly funny about that, but all right. I mean, and I'm a big Conan fan. I was a big Conan fan. I was really pissed off when he came by my work and no one told me he was coming. Fuck y'all.
I think it was Boogie Nights. We talked about that film early on, but he really established himself as one of these sort of visionary directors of his generation, and he's also a writer-director. When you get into his worlds, which are so incredible.
And yet the movie that he gets an Oscar for is a movie that was adapted from a picture book.
Unique. They always have a unique take on the subject matter. That's almost the thrill of what's exciting about his work. There are very few filmmakers that have such unexpected decisions. And, you know, this film was one I think he's been developing for almost 10 years now, all the way back to, you know, the last administrations. This had been brewing in his mind, and it's definitely politically charged. And it's a reference to sort of counterculture revolutionaries of the late 60s, but what would happen if that was happening today?
And you saw how it worked out. Just like the way in the 60s, nothing happened. All right. We just did a whole bunch of shit for next to no reason. Isn't that great? And that's what that entire movie is about. The entire movie is about a woman who was kind of a piece of garbage human being whose only stock in trade was terrorizing people. They end up killing somebody, and instead of, you know, taking her, you know, licks or whatever, no, she just sells out her entire friends and family. She sells them out so she can get out and be free and do whatever she wants. And how does her daughter respond to all of this after she eventually finds out that her mother slept with a complete racist? And then, you know, but you know what you want to do is take that mom and be just exactly like her and go, you know what? I think I want to be just like the mother who abandoned me. Genius. Fuck that movie. That movie's garbage, dog.
You know, combined with the next generation of young people and how they would react to our actions. But it's one of the...
And how they would react to your actions. The only thing that you accomplished in this movie was destruction and death. That was it. You accomplished none of your goals. 20 years that we see, almost 20 years that we see in this movie, and they accomplish nothing. Nothing. Save for property damage and death to individuals. Nothing.
The most robust, grand scale.
It's a crappy movie. It's a crappy movie with an even worse message. I tried to watch it, and it was a junk movie. No, it was something about, I think he's saying it. Okay, there you go. It made no linear sense and didn't even need to be made into a movie. And it had DiCaprio and watched it. DiCaprio is fine. I got no problem with DiCaprio. I'm a giant Leonardo DiCaprio fan. I think he is one of the high points in the movie. His acting is actually really good. He's a shitty character. The character is a bad person and not somebody that you should be rooting for. At least you can have enough fun with the DiCaprio character in that he's a bumbling, stumbling moron who's a bit of a pothead and a burnout. That's kind of fun. That's a fun element of it. But like, few and far between. And then the Benicio I'm not saying the movie's straight shit. I'm not saying that. The Benicio del Toro stuff's kind of fun. I don't know, a couple of beers. You know, that's one of those great times when you either have an amazing Benicio del Toro performance or a horrible one. In this case, the coin flipped on the good side. So we're all good and well there. But man, oh man, is it too long. It's a slog of a movie. The morals are all over the board. It thinks it's saying something super smart and profound and, you know, just kind of very very, like you said, sort of hippie-esque and shit like that. And it ain't. It ain't. It's meaningless, groveled. It's just meaningless nonsense for the audience that's going to be listening to it. The whole point is that they are flawed characters and they're doing their best. Their best is killing people. Their best is terrible. But that's the thing. It's not shown to you as, oh, these are flawed people doing their best. That opening montage of them doing crime is supposed to make you think they're fucking cool. It is there to make those characters look interesting and compelling and make you go, ooh, this looks cool. It's not cool. They're destroying property and ultimately then destroying lives. It's not a cool thing. You're not just like, oh, we're doing stuff wrong. They're fucking idiots. And it celebrates them as idiots, which is the weird part. I would just never get into it, and I tried to watch it, and I tried to give it the benefit of a doubt. Just proof positive that they're running out of ideas in Hollywood in general. And that's a pension book, though. I mean, like, it's not even something that came out of Paul's heart and his own, head and everything else like that. He took it from someone else, politicized it enough, promoted it enough in order to get him the awards, and he won. Like I said, God bless for you for playing the game, knowing how it's played, and then reaping the benefits of that award. Harvey Weinstein would be proud because he did that exact same kind of shit. Say what you will, but the man knew how to win some fucking awards.
It's St. Patrick's Day, so you're probably wanting to watch a Leprechaun movie tonight to
Who amongst us likes the Leprechaun movies, everybody? Let me see it in chat. Who loves Leprechaun? If you love Leprechaun, you've got a problem. I'm going to just tell you that right off the bat. You got problems. The movies are not great. They are not great by any stretch of the imagination. I've seen bits and pieces of all the sequels. I've only really ever seen the original front to back. I like the original. It's got Jennifer Aniston's original nose in it, which is fun, right? But I'm not a huge Leprechaun fan because it's stupid. It's stupid. Watch the first one. What else do you need to know? I mean, look, there's part of me that wants to see Leprechaun in the Hood just on account of the Hood portion of it because it's called, hey, what happens when we put this Leprechaun in crazy, stereotypical, I think it was 90s, the Black in the Hood or something like, I don't know. Let's see what is let's see what our breakdown here is.
celebrate, all of which are currently streaming on Peacock. And I've got you covered. Let's play Rip It or Skip It.
Rip it or skip it. Let's go.
The original Leprechaun is a rip it, but I do think there are better movies in this franchise. Leprechaun 2 is not goofy enough to be so bad it's good. It's also not coherent enough to even be enjoyable.
That's when you got a bad one, though. When it's not goofy enough to be bad, but it's not like well put together enough to be actually decent in any other stretch. You're just kind of going, I don't know. Never seen the Leprechaun movies. You do need to see the first one. You need to see the first one because it is stupid. You get to see a very young Jennifer Aniston in her first major film role here and everything. Her nose is going to look different because she had plastic surgery. I know it's a little bit weird, but Hollywood and plastic surgery, it's real. But it's such a dorky, stupid little film. But honestly, that's all you need to see. Let's see if Pat thinks we need to see more of them, though.
Definitely a skip it, one of the worst ones in the franchise. Leprechaun 3, on the other hand, is one of the best in the franchise. Leprechaun running amok in Las Vegas. This is definitely a rip it. One of the most gone.
Las Vegas. All right. Okay. A major film role. Hey. For her, that was a major film role at the time. She's the lead in that film,
So fucking horror sequels I've ever seen. Leprechaun in Space is actually a skip it for me, which is
what? It sounds like the best of all things. You get a horror icon and you throw them to space as you do. How we didn't have a Freddy in space, I'll never know. We got Jason X. That's Jason in space. Michael Myers in space would make a lot of sense. No noise.
mind-boggling. This concept should be fun, but it's an absolute fucking slog.
Man, that's sad to hear.
To get through. Unlike Jason X, which is one of my favorite Friday the 13th movies.
Oh man, Jason X is awful. Jason X is a big old piece of shit. It's got one cool kill in it. That's it. That kind of dry ice kill where the face goes into the nitrogen there and then smashes and the face just goes explodes like that. That's badass. Everything else in that movie's trash.
I'll give Leprechaun in the Hood a rip it, but hear me
I'm to understand Leprechaun in the Hood is a lot of stupid fun.
out. Because the real ones know that Leprechaun Back to the Hood is the better of the two.
Back to the Hood. Lovely.
Movies. Regardless, though, these are both rip-its. Leprechaun Origins,
Regardless, both rip-its.
on the other hand, is a skip-it.
Leprechaun Origins. Was Warwick Davis in that one too, or no?
A movie that perplexingly proves that more is sometimes actually less. I do not need this much Leprechaun backstory.
Ooh, that's a good point.
I've actually come around on Leprechaun Returns in recent years. It's the goriest Leprechaun movie, and it's directed by the dude behind Psycho Gorman. This is
Ooh, I liked Psycho Gorman. That was a fun film.
an absolute rip-it.
Cool. Very, very cool. Fast and Furious in space. That's right. That's right. All the good ones go to space. Adam, you pretentious asshat. Leprechaun in the Hood is a classic. Willow versus Leprechaun, the crossover we need. MVD, there's a reason why we keep you around, buddy. You come up with some brilliant ideas, and it is only Hollywood's duty to fulfill those wishes, my friend.
Timothy Chalamet drops this photo one day after the Oscars, and everybody's like, wait, hold on, we actually cool, bro. I like Dune. Then the trailer drops a few minutes ago, and the excitement is higher than ever. But I'm here to tell you, you shouldn't care about this poster. You know the poster you should care about? This one. Why should I care about this one, bro? Who even is this? I'm going to tell you. This is Isaac de Bonkelet, one of the greatest actors of the past 35 years. And I'm going to tell you what movies you need to watch from him to really appreciate greatness. And maybe you'll be more familiarized going into Dune.
I'm excited. Who doesn't like to learn about new actors, new movies that you should be checking out, especially when it's like, you know, he's talking about it in such a passionate way that I can't help but go, what are we going to talk about? This is what you need to be doing on Movie TikTok, everybody, is exploring things that are outside of your normal boundaries.
Ghost Dog the Way of the Samurai with director Jim Jarmusch, in which he runs an ice cream truck and becomes best friends and is in clear communication somehow, even though he doesn't speak English, with our titular Ghost Dog played by Forrest Whitaker in one of the coolest films in American cinematic history. Even earlier than that, he worked with Jarmusch on the film Night on Earth, which has 5 different stories set across 5 different cities around.
I haven't watched as much Jarmusch as I should. I'm going to be honest with you.
The world, and his Paris section alongside Beatrice Dalle is brilliant. I think he's great. Recently, he did The Brutalist, a film I didn't love, but his performance in his small supporting role was very good.
Take your word for that.
I say all this without even mentioning his most frequent collaborator, who was Claire Denis, in which he starred in her debut film, Chocolat, in the leading role. He also did White Material, and the masterpiece that is No Fear, No Die. Everyone needs to see that movie.
He's one of those guys, like, I kind of recognize the face and stuff, but I don't know that I've seen most of these.
He also did The Fence with Her, that premiered at festivals last year. It should be releasing in America this year, I'm assuming. So if you can, support that movie. I say all this to say, recognize greatness, because it will be on display in Dune 3.
Right on. More exciting Dune talk, man. Let's go. Warwick Davis as well. Warwick Davis as Willow in the Leprechaun. Michael B. Jordan as Smoke and Stack. You may be flying too close to the sun there, buddy. You may be flying too close to the sun. We want to live here, see? Oh, listen, I like this one. Dominic Toretto versus Leprechaun. They both got about the exact same acting skills. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
The Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot was axed by an executive who doesn't like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Well, that would seem to make sense.
My name is Joe Russo.
Hi, Joe.
Movies. Let me talk to you about why it is so important that the executives you work with actually like the thing they're working with you on.
Yeah, one would hope that, because if they don't, you're getting kicked to the curb. We've seen it umpteen times in Hollywood.
Good for Sarah Michelle Gellar for calling out a bad executive. There is nothing more destructive to a film or television project than an executive who does not get the thing that you are trying to make. Why someone would want to work on a Buffy reboot when they don't like Buffy is insane to me. There's a lot of people are saying, yeah, well, maybe it was because the script wasn't any good. You ever stop to think that maybe the notes they got from the executive who didn't get the material weren't good? What would the script and development process have looked like if they were actually working with someone who was a fan of the material?
Now, I'm just going to kind of stop it here for half a second because I'm kind of thinking about it, because I was never like, I watched the first season of Buffy and I thought it was, I mean, like well after the fact. The series was done by that point. But I watched the first season. I was like, nah, it's all right, fine, whatever. And I never really kind of got, post that first season there and everything. But is that not kind of like that was Joss Whedon's thing and stuff, right? And we were just kind of poo-pooing on that guy earlier in the show. So he's not involved with this, I would imagine. I feel like he's persona non grata in Hollywood these days. Maybe he was kind of the magic that held this thing together, and maybe it was shitty. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Executives, I am begging you, when you take on a project, make sure you love it. We are pouring way too much of our souls into these scripts for you to be anything less than enthusiastic.
Yeah, but if if executives and stuff start changing hands and things like that, and the new person in there doesn't like what you're doing, there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do about that.
Creatives and the executives are aligned. That's when magic happens.
All right, Joe, that's a little bit la-di-da, but okay.
There may be a great renaissance with production in the future, but it certainly seems like the cinematic experience is under threat.
Right, because you guys aren't delivering anymore. Yeah. You guys aren't delivering anymore. You are consistently aligning with things that are against your better nature, that are against your better judgment. It's happening all the time. You guys have been, eating good for a very long time. For a very, very long time. And no one has told you no. In so long, you've forgotten what that word means. You have no clue. You think that everything that you do is going to be loved and adored by everyone. The amount of money that is thrown away in Hollywood projects to suit their own egotistical, just money-driven bullshit is astounding. And they all do you really think it's going to be good? Is this a producer's kind of thing where like these losses can be written off? What's happening? Because it doesn't feel like you guys, by and large, they're sure like it's like Tarantino said years ago, there's enough things in Hollywood to keep it alive for, as in its current state and everything. But to think that we are anywhere close to having, oh shit, the table, anywhere close to what we're doing is nuts. We are in such a horrible, horrible state right now with film. And you guys continue to do it. And you guys continue to sign up to do Netflix films. Why? And then you go, well, people aren't going to the movies. Why? They don't care. It's like, again, it's self-centered.
On a personal level, I've been most affected as an audience member to a piece of art when I'm in a communal experience with other people. There's something else about, of course, not being distracted, sitting for 2 hours, not being on your phone, to fully immerse yourself in what is essentially an incredible art form.
And the problem is that we have now created a culture that doesn't give a shit about not only that, but about most art in and of itself in general. They just don't care. Like when someone can go through and pay, $15 for a ticket and 15 minutes into a film pulls out their phone to start looking at stuff, you fucking failed. Not only as the movie makers themselves have failed, the movie theater itself has failed, the movie patron itself has failed. Everything is a fucking failure, and it's all you guys' fault. You don't care anymore. That's the problem. And the thing is you all play like you care, but you fucking don't. You don't care about any of this. That's the problem. Hollywood doesn't care. You just want to play like you do.
And I think a lot of these films deserve that focus. But
we'll keep signing up to do movies exclusively for Netflix, exclusively for Apple, places that will go exclusively to streaming. We'll continue to sign up for those. But yet at the exact same time, we're going to look you in the face and say, please go to theaters and have the theatrical experience. Please do that. You don't want that. If you wanted that, you wouldn't do these Netflix things. Netflix would have taken off if you guys had a brain one in your head. It's insane how stupid Hollywood is. You are literally the crafters of your own demise, and it's actually kind of funny. It's so stupid. It's funny.
I'm not here to push or advocate that people must see things in theaters.
You should. It's your job, dummy. It's your job. If they don't go to see things in the theater, eventually you will make no money because no one will hire you because we can't recoup costs. You want to be successful, you need to make movies that will become successful. You do that by listening to audiences. You do that by lowering the ticket costs. And stop raping us for $15 just to give us 3 hours worth of a lecture about shit that we don't fucking care about. Give us something entertaining, for Christ's sake.
I'm just a fan of it myself, and that's how I grew up, and I think that's how they're best experienced.
Leonardo DiCaprio, in memoriam. I want movies to be great, but it's just, you're hearing all these guys and they're doing like, oh, we get 45-day theatrical window. Why does no one go to the movies? Well, the maximum that it's brand new is 45 days. You all want to make a buck, but you don't know how to make a buck the right way. You want to make it the fast way, but the fast way is the cheap, shitty way that will not sustain you over the long haul. For a place called Show Business, they don't know much about business.
Jason Goes to Space. And that's
yeah, man. Second Jason Goes to Space in the whole broadcast. Man, oh man, that movie is getting some play.
That's what this movie is. Now, for those of you who are new here,
Jason X, Jason Goes to Space. That's what this movie is. That should be the end of the video right there.
Have been trying to review all the Friday the 13th movies, and I failed to do that because I watched them all around Halloween. It's now February as I'm recording these videos. But it's fine because at the time I hadn't seen Jason 9 or Jason X, Jason 10. I finally watched Jason 10 because it came onto streaming. Spoiler alert, I still have not seen Jason 9. I don't want to spend money on it.
You're smart to not. You're smart. You're good. You're good. Listen, like I said previously, that was my Friday the 13th movie this year was Jason Goes to Hell. Please don't spend money on that. It's not good.
But
okay, see, he's a worm, right? There's a worm, right? You dig? A worm.
But yeah, Jason X is...
He's like a demon worm, see?
Weird. It's dumb. It's as dumb as you're expecting it to be, and quite possibly dumber. It's really, really, really silly. The setup is that Jason has been studied by a secret government organization, or...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a word.
There you go.
Sorry, I just had like a mini stroke. Anyway.
Hey, mini strokes are fun.
He has been studied by a secret government organization, or...
You can just say org. That's cool. Kids do that these days.
The government is studying Jason.
It's very Porky Pig-esque.
Jason is being studied by the government because his cells regenerate, and that's why he doesn't die. Spoiler alert, it all goes terribly wrong.
What?
He ends up killing everyone in the facility, and then...
Who'd have thought that was the case?
And a woman gets trapped with him, and he cryo freezes. They freeze him. And then like 300 years later, or 500 years later, I don't know, it's a lot of years later.
Many years.
He's found on Earth, and they take him to space, along with the woman who's like, he's gonna kill us all, and no one believes her, and then he kills everyone.
This mutant mongoloid is gonna kill us all. Lady, he's fine, all right? He's fine. He's a little bit different from you. But what you need to know here is in the future, we don't judge. We don't judge here in the future. No. We're not like that.
The end. Let's be honest. You do not watch this movie because you are interested in the plot.
What? No, I am most interested in the space machinations of Jason X. What's going on in space? How does Jason go to the potty in space? You never know.
You are interested in the bizarre choices of characters and the costuming and the setting.
And the fact that it looks like a sci-fi movie, like, you know, from the Sci-Fi Channel, it looks like that.
And it's the most late 90s idea of what 300 years in the future will look like. Also, there are scenes I cannot believe I watched. There are scenes I cannot believe. It's so bizarre. And I don't want to spoil them because I do. Look, this movie is hilarious. This is a movie you put
Not intentionally so.
on with a group of friends. You all get yourself some cocktails. You maybe make up a drinking game out of it. It's hilarious. This movie is so funny, and I cannot think of a better way to say goodbye to the Jason franchise than Jason X, where he goes to space. It's absurd. It's absurd. Okay. And I finished. I've reviewed them all, except for 9, because I haven't seen it yet. Someone let me know when it gets on streaming.
But excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. You are done. No. You got Freddy versus Jason on the docket, young lady. The hell's wrong with you? Get in shape. Jennifer Aniston's first film role was Leprechaun. Leonardo DiCaprio's first film was Critters 3. Adam, which had the best first start? It's Jennifer Aniston. Come on, man. The real one for DiCaprio, the real moment DiCaprio took off. And I didn't know who he was back in the day. I just remember seeing the episode where this little blonde kid came to live with the Seavers. And then this little blonde kid proceeded to pour out all of Mr. Seavers' liquor. And as you might imagine, that made him a little bit mad. And he goes, "What in the sweet monkey shit is going on?" He didn't say monkey shit. It's the 80s. But he got a little upset and was just like, ready to string this kid up real good. But then we find out that the kid's dad was an alcoholic who beat him. And he thought, well, if there's alcohol in this house, this guy's going to beat me. But instead of actually saying anything, talking to anyone, even looking at any of the other kids in the family and saying, "Hey, is your dad a drunk? Does he hit people?" Because I come from a family where my dad drank a whole bunch and started hitting me. So instead of doing that, instead of talking to somebody, this child pours out just, fifth after fifth after fifth of booze right down the sink. I do remember it, though, because it was a very, very great performance for like a fucking Growing Pains episode. You know what I mean? If you're wondering how Jason eats and breathes and other science facts, Adam, you might have to just picture yourself. It's just a show. I should really just relax. You know what? Ban him. I don't have moderators, but ban that guy. That's the funny thing. If anybody was to be a moderator, it would be him. So, I don't know how he'd ban himself.
These are movie theaters. Let's take a picture for Mommy's Facebook, okay?
Oh my God. Fucking correct.
Okay, do not embarrass me at the AMC. We are A-listers. Oh, I love this part. It's that Australian lady that was married to Keith Urban. Everybody say sing too. I love that suit. I wonder where she got it. Looks like so.
This is what all of you AMC Stubs members who keep making all the videos that we throw on TikTok Trash Tuesday. This is you. This is you. This is what you sound like.
That I would find at Marshall's. This is my popcorn subscription, not yours. Oh, I do not like these heated seats. My butt is sweating like a mother. I told you to go pee before the movie. Now I would like to watch it.
This is what all y'all sound like. You should know.
This movie's in laser. That sounds dangerous. I'm here to see the terror of Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, that's right. That's what an Alamo Draft House is all about, baby. That's correct. That's correct.
You probably never heard of it.
Yes.
Write down your order so that somebody can crawl through the aisle army style. Take the piece of paper, unclick the button, crawl away, and it doesn't distract you from the movie at all. Excuse me.
I used to work in a place that was just like that. Who took Alamo Draft House? I mean, the guy worked for Alamo Draft House and then left and then kind of created his own thing, which was just a rip off of Alamo Draft House with a different name. But yeah, good times.
Yeah, I pressed the button. I pressed the button a while ago. Could I have 2 pizzas, 1 order of chicken tenders, 3 milkshakes, and can you bring that during the most important part of the movie?
No, and we try to do better than that. But at the same time, too, man, let me tell you something. When you got a busy, like a Spider-Man night and everything, dude, that last Spider-Man movie that I worked, it was bananas. A film would get out, and of course, it's a Marvel movie, so everybody's staying for the post-credits. So everyone stays in the theater forever. And then the lights go up, and you've got to clean up after 300 people who all left their food there. You're the only person there to do it. And the pre-show for the next movie just started. Get into gear, people. It is not a job for the weak.
I like this place. It really makes me think about the cinema.
A music box theater. Can't say I've been to one of these. I don't know no better. If anyone in the chat knows, let me know.
Picture is about to begin. Well, really, I come here to listen to the organ, but sometimes I stay around for the picture. I'll take 1 ticket to the midnight showing of Rocky Horror SpongeBob the Musical. You gotta see a picture in 70 millimeter. There's simply nothing like it.
Well, that's true. If you've seen some 70 millimeter stuff, you know that's a very true statement. I don't care if it's regular, 70 millimeter, or if it's the IMAX 70 millimeter. It's a good time.
Movies. I get a
Regal. Oh Lord. So my theater then eventually became a Regal, and we were a Regal.
extra large popcorn with extra butter, and then could I have a blue raspberry icy, and could I get Mike and Ike's in that? And then could I get nachos, but like only the jalapenos, no cheese? And I gotta go use the bathroom real quick, but I was thinking I'd just pee everywhere and not clean up after myself.
Boy, oh boy. Having worked for Regal and have had many a patron and pee scenario, I can vouch for the validity of this video. I can. One time, there was a lady who was so slap drunk. Now, this is the middle of the day, mind you. So slap drunk that she left the movie theater and was walking towards the bathroom and peed the entire way down the hallway towards the bathroom. She peed on the floor that way. And then all of a sudden, one of the staff members, he got really excited to go clean it all up. And we were like, what's happening here? Why would anyone be super excited to go clean up a long string of pee? But he was. I was only working like in a non-official way that day. I was like putting up lobby posters and stuff outside. And all of a sudden somebody comes to me and just goes, Adam, this kid's having a problem. The same kid who was, enthusiastically cleaning up pee 25 minutes ago, all of a sudden is having a little bit of a nervous breakdown. Turns out he had eaten an edible and he was high as balls. So I had to, talk him down, try to get him back to reality and everything. That's what the movie theater business was like, everybody. People peeing in the hallways and then you having to talk someone down after they've eaten an edible for the very first time and think the entire world is collapsing in on themselves. And that was my day off.
No, dude, I'm fine. I just have allergies. 40X is awesome!
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I've seen like 4 or 5 40X movies. Only truly been impressed one time, and that was the Godzilla King of the Monsters one. I thought that was really great. What a cool way to integrate all that stuff. Regal as can be, indeed. What's next?
There are some Hollywood movies that are way more popular in Korea than they ever were in the United States.
I love facts like this. I love stupid things that are just like, this movie was nothing here, but for whatever reason, in whatever other country, it caught on like mad. I love stuff like this, to where like something super popular and you just kind of go, or super not popular here that is super popular there, and you just go, what, huh? Let's see what we got.
And it's pretty interesting to see the difference in how some movies are perceived and which ones have had unbelievable staying power in Korea. So let's go through 5. These were movies where when I moved to Korea, some of them I hadn't thought about in years. Suddenly in Korea, I was seeing frequent references to these movies. So let's jump in. At number 5 is The Intern with Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway is very popular in Korea. I've mentioned
Anne Hathaway, super popular in Korea. Okay. Interesting.
this in some of my other.
By the way, The Intern is pretty decent. Honestly, I would say, I'm going to go so far as to say, maybe the last good Robert De Niro performance. It's a little, it's a little old manny here and everything, but I thought it was really good.
Videos. While she's popular a lot of places, she's a lot more popular in Korea than other actresses that are at her level. And apparently it's popular because it's seen as kind of a comfort movie about work and life. And there's actually a Korean remake in progress right now that's supposed to be coming out this year.
I bet it'll do gangbusters too.
Number 4 is Music and Lyrics from 2007 with
I hadn't thought about this movie in a minute.
With Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore. This one feels so random to me because I've actually never seen this movie. This is the only one on the list that I've never seen. And the reason it's so popular is because the song Way Back Into Love turned into a karaoke staple in Korea. People actually might know the song even better than they know the movie, but it's also regularly replayed on Korean TV. But I feel like for both Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore, this is probably not even a top 15 movie for either one of them.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, Music and Lyrics is one of those that like feels very, very forgotten. So that's wild that it's a big hit there.
Right? Next, at number 3, we have Mamma Mia. Musicals do really, really well in Korea. The main songs are also karaoke staples. Amanda Seyfried.
And the worst part is probably most of the Koreans watching in that audience are better singers than like Pierce Brosnan, for example. Sarsgaard, he's terrible in that too. Like, y'all motherfuckers can't sing, dude. It's just like, all right, we got a musical. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure that not a damn one of these people can sing.
Is specifically very popular in Korea. I've talked about this before, and people have actually mentioned in the comments that one reason why, because her features are actually more familiar to Korean people. Like her bone structure, she has that exotic coloring, so she's sort of the perfect mix between familiar and different to be extremely popular in Korea.
Man, Seyfried ain't bad to look at. I'm not gonna fight you on that.
Actually, when I was prepping for this video, I saw this picture of her from In Time, and it immediately reminded me of this. I wonder if that's where the styling inspiration came from. Next, number 2, and this might actually be a British movie, but with a A-list Hollywood actress. It is About Time from 2013 with Rachel McAdams. I have heard so many Korean women say this is their favorite movie. I thought this was a super cute movie, but again, as far as Rachel McAdams goes, it might.
It's not even it's maybe a top 10 Rachel McAdams, but like it's lower half for sure.
Not even be a top 10 movie for her. And at number 1 is one of the most beloved musicals here. I have heard young men in their 20s at language exchanges mention this as their favorite movie, which you would never hear from a 20-something man in the US. It's been re-released in Korean movie theaters twice, where it climbed back to the top of the Korean box office. Can you guess what it is? It's The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman. Holy crap. I think I cut out the rest of that because there was too much what I would imagine to be copywritten music. Hotel work can get you the same kind of experiences. I certainly could imagine that they're probably a lot worse in many cases as well. So I don't even want to I ain't trying to get no measuring contest with anybody that'd be working late nights in hotels. Yeesh. I saw The Innkeepers. I know how that happens.
I have an incredibly important question.
Yes, please. Another question from Jason about Austin Powers. I remember that movie. That movie came out when I was in middle school.
Is there any version of this film that you could do today? And yes, this does matter. The film I'm talking about is, of course, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery from 1997.
Okay.
The premise of that
okay.
film is that a cool dude from the swinging 1960s, specifically from the year 1967, gets frozen in time and wakes up in 1997, an entirely different world.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, you can do some of this stuff, and I think ideas and stuff like this are interesting, but the I'm not sure what the delineating line is, but there is one. There is one where it gets to the point to where when you look back, technology and everything has just not. It has advanced, but it hasn't advanced to such the degree that it would have been, so different between, 1985 and 1955, or in this case, 1995 and 1965. So we're still working in that gap. But if you went back, 40 years now, it's like, oh, okay, so we're going back to like 1986, and it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't be as entertaining, I don't think. I think there's a bit of that could be entertaining if you do it in that right way. I remember this TikTok that I saw of this dude who had been in jail since the 90s. Dude was in jail since the 90s, came out in his exact duds and stuff that he was, arrested in. They take your clothes, and eventually when you get out, they will give you the clothes that you came in with back. So he came out, he had, as you would imagine in the 90s, he had these giant ass jeans on. He had Timberland shoes on. Like he looked the part of a 90s, kind of gangsta dude, right? And he was shocked and appalled at all the fashion things that were going on. Skinny jeans were a pretty big thing at the time. And the fact that black dudes was wearing skinny jeans made this dude's head explode. He was just like, how in the world could any of this happen? So I think there's like something like that could have a lot of fun with it, but somebody kind of getting frozen in time and then coming back, 40 years in the future, it's not going to be nearly as impactful as it was back then, just because frankly, we aren't nearly as interesting as, we used to be, I guess.
Every single joke is about how he is basically on an alien planet now. He is a fish out of water. Nothing he knows about the world is the same.
One of the funniest parts about that like people don't talk about is when they, speaking of getting out of prison, he's kind of in a weird way getting out of prison. He's getting out of his, his frozen suspension there. And as they do with jail, they have a box full of all your belongings. And they're going through all of his belongings. And they go, one Swedish-made penis pump. And he just goes like, whose is that? I don't know what that is. Why would that even be in there? Somebody's playing a joke, obviously. And he goes, one receipt for for a Swedish-made penis pump. One book about the Swedish-made penis. Like that. Like there's all these just penis pump jokes. It's so good, and it's just kind of like throwing off of everything. One of the funniest movies ever that was absolutely cheapened by two sequels that just went back to the well and did the exact same jokes again and again.
And already some of you have done the math and said, oh no, we're now as far away from this film as Austin was from the film. So if you're going to do a version of that film today, it would be about somebody who was frozen in time in 1996, 1997.
Yeah, that was the dude that I was just talking about. He was in prison for that time. He comes out, and I think that's how you do this movie, is that you have somebody like, okay, Kevin Hart plays a guy who is in prison. He's kind of a little dude and stuff like that. And that's what kind of makes it funny. I don't know why it makes it funny that it's a little dude but who kind of thinks he's tough, but he went away from prison for 20 years. He comes back and everything, and he's still got the, the no limit soldier mentality going on. And yet we're, doing, mumblecore and all mumblecore rap and all that kind of shit.
If you don't remember that era, go watch an episode of Seinfeld from near the end, say around season 8. Or you could go grab an episode of Friends from around season 3, season 4.
Could I be wearing any more pants?
Or something like that. You could go watch an episode of The X-Files from around season 3.
Season 3 is a good one, man. Season 3 is good. Season 3 is some prime X-Files, boy.
If you want a film that gives a good portrait of what life was like in 1997,
motherfucking yeah, God. What a time. That's what the movie needs to be about, is coming back and being like, we used to have it so good. We used to have it so good, man. We had John Travolta and Nick Cage fighting and trading faces and shit. Oh, what a time.
Think face.
1997 is also 7, right? Man, or is that 97? This feels right.
Off is a good one. And as far as technology goes, somebody back then would have had a cell phone roughly like this one. It might have been capable of text messaging, but nobody did that back then. But is there anyone from any subculture in 1997 who would be as much a fish out of water as Austin Powers was in 1997?
A lot's changed.
Yeah, I think it's a black dude who's gone away to prison and has come back after 20 years. And the world is a much different, 25 years, 30 years, whatever. And the world is a much different place than it was 30 years prior. Yeah, I think that would actually work because it is a culture change for what people thought was, this is what it means to be a man and this is what it means to be tough and all that kind of stuff. I think that could actually work if it was, written well, which it probably wouldn't be given the premise and the idea. But, that's how it is. Tough Guys, 1986, starring Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas, has 2 train robbers who went to jail in 1956 and come out in 1986. Possibly the best example of this. MVD coming through with the... Wait a minute. No, okay, I was about to say. I have a movie called Tough Guys, but it's an Italian film. So I was, for a second there, I was like, wait a second. Actually, I think it's called The Tough Ones. So there you go.
It's 1967.
Bring on the sexy stews, man.
Yeah, baby. Like he came out here and like he just keeps talking about like tip drills and stuff like that. Like people will be like, what the fuck are you even on about?
On flight attendants now.
And obviously he is a cartoonish exaggeration of that subculture and lifestyle. But that's my point. If you wanted to do a similar cartoonish exaggeration of somebody from 1997 so that they would feel like they were on an alien planet in 2026, what would it be? Because I am drawing a blank.
Hardcore, no-limit soldier who went to jail, comes back out, and we are not in the no-limit era anymore. Master P is not a name anybody recognizes. And he don't know what's going on. He had a golden tank, for crying out loud. How is he still not number 1?
Here are 5 things you probably didn't know about the 1984 cartoon, Muppet Babies.
I was a Muppet Babies fan. Let me tell you something. As somebody who was born in 1982 and watched himself a fair bit of Muppet Babies, I love that show. I loved it so much. I thought it was just... It felt like a show that was kind of made for us, and I think this video is going to go into a little bit of why. Let's see what he's got.
Number 1. It started as a live-action dream sequence. The idea for the show didn't come from a drawing board, but from the 1984 film The Muppets Take Manhattan.
And let me tell you, that scene is awesome. I love that dream sequence there in Muppet Takes Manhattan. Such a great thing. And when you watch it, you understand why this stood out. You understand why they wanted to make this a thing. Because son of a bitch, if these Muppets weren't cute. Boop, boop, shoo, wah, wah, ma, 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 ma. Oh my God, it's adorable. You can't help but just go like, that is so fucking cute. I need to see that. And then they did.
There's a musical number called I'm Gonna Always Love You, where the Muppets imagine themselves as babies. The audience reaction was so overwhelming.
Look at how good it looks. They made these great puppets. And the thing that I love the most about it is how much the cartoon took all of this and said, that's what the cartoon is going to look like. The set, the carpet colors, the swing set, all of the shit that is in there is in the cartoon. It is so awesome. I love it.
That Jim Henson immediately pivoted to develop a full animated series. Number 2, Muppet Babies was one of the first cartoons to use clips of live-action movies and stock footage as part of the animation.
And it was so friggin' cool. And it just made like everything more kind of relevant to the times and stuff that was going on. And it was the thing that made me love Muppet Babies and made me the kind of kid that I was, I think, was things like Muppet Babies. And I mean that in as much as the Muppet Babies were always in their room. They never left their room, but they were always good at playing. They were always good at imagination. And that was something that I think me and my brother and sister were always really good at. We're able to use our imaginations and have fun with nothing, and being able to put yourself into interesting and fun scenarios and do it all in the guise of play. And that's exactly what Muppet Babies was. It was just like, it's how these little children played, you know? And it's kind of like, when you think about back by it, it's like how we played. You played as a Ninja Turtle or whatever. And that's, you said, okay, you're Donatello, you're Michelangelo, you're Raphael. And that's, you just played like that. And that's what the Muppet Babies captured and put it onto, animation cells in this particular case.
This represented the kids' imaginations. The show's production had access to incredible libraries, including Star Wars and Indiana Jones, allowing Baby Gonzo to literally fly an X-Wing. Unfortunately, these clips are also the reason you will likely never see Muppet Babies on physical home media or streaming services.
Fucking stupid. Absolutely stupid. Sometimes the world's that doesn't work the way you don't want it to.
The rights would be outrageous. Number 3. In the series, Nanny was never seen from the waist up. She was known only by her iconic green and white striped socks.
Which, honestly, by the way, I want to say Muppet Babies is probably the reason that I called my grandma Nanny. I can almost, because she didn't quite see, Nanny never seemed like a motherly figure to me in the Muppet Babies. She always seemed like she was older than that for whatever reason. But so that's why I call my grandma, Nanny. Was the Muppet Babies. I can tell you that for 110%.
This was a deliberate choice to keep the perspective strictly from the height of a toddler.
Oh, an old MVD says, I still wonder what Nanny looks like above those knees with the white, green socks, pink shirts, and purple cardigan. That's absolutely true.
Nanny, however, was voiced by Barbara Billingsley, the legendary mother from Leave It to Beaver.
I never knew that, but now that he says that and you kind of think of, it's like, oh, yeah.
Number 4. Since the Muppet cast was mostly male, the producers realized they needed another female character besides Baby Piggy. For that reason, they created Skeeter, Scooter's twin sister.
I like the idea of Skeeter. Skeeter and Scooter, like those are two, again, it's a nice little contrasting sort of thing. And it's very right. Adding another female character really needed to kind of round out the crew there for sure.
Because she was created specifically for the cartoon and not as a physical Muppet, she became a lost Muppet for decades, only recently appearing in comic books and the Disney reboot. And number 5. The show was produced by Marvel Productions and Toei Animation in Japan. This high-level partnership is why the animation quality was so much higher than contemporary shows.
That makes a lot more sense now. You're right. Because it felt like this show was probably doing far more than a show that's the Muppet Babies should be doing, I suppose.
It also explains why the babies occasionally imagine themselves as Marvel superheroes like Spider-Man or the Hulk.
That's wild. I did not know that bit. That's great. I didn't know that was Barbara Billingsley either. I still find it hard to believe that Skeeter didn't graduate to official Muppet. It's a great design, and it's a great kind of contrast to Skeeter, and their personalities between Scooter and Skeeter were great, and had them play off of each other and whatnot, and they still kind of kept Scooter's kind of personality from the Muppets there and everything. So it was a good kind of, ebb and flow between those two characters and stuff. So it was great. I love the Muppet Babies, man.
I just took a deep breath and I said, I really only have one question for you. Am I the sheriff of Red Rock, or am I not the sheriff of Red Rock?
I'm the new sheriff.
He said, I need for you to answer that question. And
that's interesting. I like that, where you're leaving it up to the actor to do so.
I don't want to know the answer. So for me, it's like the gold briefcase in Pulp Fiction. No one will ever know that, really, but me.
That's a very cool thing. And I love that Tarantino's like, I don't even want you to tell me. I want you to know. And only you know. But that's what's kind of cool about that, is that you're always going to be questioning. It's like, is he what he says he is? He might be, he might not be. Only Walton Goggins knows.
The headlights, and they're treated like nipples. That's McQueen's entire.
The weird world building of cars makes no sense. Headlights are nipples, everybody. Which I always thought the headlights should be the eyeballs and the windshield. And that's a weird one, but okay, let's watch.
Gimmick with the ka-chow thing, you know, he gets flashed by some of his fans.
Oh, yeah, I guess that does make sense. The high beams. Mm-hmm.
Do they need to pay taxes? And then we got this weirdo.
Oh, yeah.
Her name's Celine. This is apparently enough to scare Mater, when, remind you, both of these characters, if they were human, look like this. I would...
Eyeballs on your chest with no head, but then your testicles are out.
Say the nipple eyes beat the exposed rib cage. Now let's talk about world history in this universe. No matter how you cut it, every human event that happened in history happens in the Cars world. I thought that maybe the Pixar theory, the idea that every Pixar movie happens in the same timeline, could maybe provide an argument that the humans died or left during WALL-E, and then Cars replaced all the humans for everything. But no! This is straight up a continuity with billions of years worth of vehicle evolution. We can see Cars leave the waters as submarines. We
What? I never saw any of these little things.
know about prehistoric history. We know that every country, every event, every second, every person is identical. Real world figures exist in Cars as Cars,
Guys, I'm getting scared.
implying that in this world there is a one-for-one recreation of everyone. I have a car version, you have a car version.
What kind of car would I be, I wonder? Is it the type of car that I drive?
We all do.
Am I a Hyundai Elantra? Limited edition?
I don't know what this means if you're like a warplane or something, because there is war. Objective dogfight death, known veterans, documented tragedies, wars, assassinations, gender inequality, corrupt industries in business.
Never thought about any of these things, but he ain't wrong.
It's moonshiners, it's all here, all canon. I understand how everything...
All right. I don't know if he's going to go here. But it's the internet, so I feel like I got to. Is there Adolf Hitler car? Was there at one point? I guess that's what I'm asking. And did it look like his death car?
works. But then there's just equivalents. We can use the Cars to learn about our world. Like Lightning McQueen knows what hell is. We have proof of several afterlives existing. And of course, this means all countries exist. There's clear cultural differences. For example, Luigi and Guido are obviously Italian. Italy exists and the cultures exist. That's why Luigi got like an Italian haircut. It's kind of funny.
Hey, Italian haircuts are hilarious. And the little Fiat thing here is your mustache kind of deal.
Implication of Italy existing means that Italian food exists in some capacity.
Oh man, these cars is eating spaghetti.
Luigi mentions rotini pasta, for example, and somehow this escalates to even more real-life foods. Mater eats wasabi, thinking it's ice cream, meaning that
fail.
That they do milk the tractors. McQueen finds himself covered in frosting. There's alcohol in bars, and no car can drink that with their wheels unless you're a forklift. Only the forklifts have hands. So
forklifts are drunks.
So in this case, I'm gonna assume that the cars have two stomachs. One for car stuff, one for a fun stomach. But if they're drinking oil and stuff, how do they have white teeth? Are these even teeth? They don't have, like, lines in between them. They're just one giant tooth. Except for Mater. Mater has teeth. McQueen...
That's true. Mater's got several teeth. Everybody else just has a platter.
Has the nubs. I don't know what these are. It only gets worse.
Maybe those are like vegetarians, you know, like dinosaurs with the flat teeth versus the, you know, the canines and incisors and all that shit.
But through every piece of Cars media, and oh my god, it never ends. Why is oil simultaneously piss and blood? There's an Arnold Schwarzenegger Carmobile car. Do cars get muscular? Are there bodybuilders? How would that work? These gyms only have...
I think the bodybuilders are like aftermarket stuff, like all the aftermarket things that are going on. You know, like you add spoilers or like little rib cage thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Treadmills. Those would be the only machines that could function. Why do handguns exist? In the first movie, Lightning thinks that the sheriff is shooting at him, and why would he do that? You can only shoot at the tires. You're not gonna kill the car. Why are there so many buildings that are inaccessible to larger vehicles? There's a truck stop, but none of the trucks can fit in it. Does that mean there's different size bathrooms? How come besides racers, the only famous people are exclusively cars? Why would the vehicles choose to let trains exist, and what purpose do they serve?
Oh, that sounds like racism. Why would they allow them to exist as a people?
If they get paid, what do they spend their money on?
Ooh, good question. Good question. It's not Nintendo games.
They can't go anywhere or live anywhere or do anything. If they
No. They do be driving to places and stuff that you see, like, na, 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 na. They're like looking around and junk like that. They do that during the fall, I'd imagine.
If space shuttles and rockets are sentient, what
the fuck
purpose do they serve? Can they even make it back to Earth? What do the space shuttles do when they're not in space? Can
sit around?
They breathe in space? Why does this car exist? This is a one-for-one recreation of Earth. How do companies still function? You can't do anything with like a computer or anything. How do they edit these little TVs and stuff? What's stopping all the
Ooh, yeah, how do they edit things?
non-cars from giving up from existing? Like they can't really pursue any hobbies or free will. They're restricted to the sea or train tracks.
Oh, that's got to be a living hell right there. If you're a boat and like you're a sentient boat, you can never leave the water.
Or all that stuff. Are none of the machines like Bob the Builder machines? Do they need construction stuff?
What's Bob the Builder machines? I don't know. That's a good point, man. Listen, the Cars franchise sounds fucking spectacularly scary. I don't think I want to visit that place, man. I never gave a damn about Cars. It seems so dumb to me. The first one I thought was fine. Like it was a lesser Pixar to be sure. I feel like I saw Cars 2. Don't really remember it. I never saw any of the subsequent ones because it's Cars. Why would it? Why?
At some point, every toy in Andy's room saw him beat his own meat.
I mean, it's true. He's not wrong. Woody!
You think Reed Richards stretches his cock out?
I mean, like, listen, that's been a question since 1964, my friend.
Or he doesn't have to. I think Freddy Krueger ever did some gay shit in a dream just to really fuck with a dude.
Well, he was kind of a PDF file, and do with that as you will.
Chewbacca's asshole must be a dingleberry farm.
Oh, we all know that one. What do you get a Wookiee for Christmas when he already owns a comb? That's right. When he already owns a comb.
For real though, what the fuck even is the Grinch?
I don't like this. It just shows that you can't do comedy, man. What the fuck?
So Cyborg dies, loses most of his body, gets a new robotic body, doesn't have a dick.
You're thinking about dicks a whole lot, my boy. A little sus.
Does that make him trans? Regardless of whatever trap Jigsaw puts me in, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah, that's the point of Jigsaw. That's kind of the point. Yeah. Hot take.
Since Scooby-Doo displays human-like intellect, does he now ask for consent before humping another dog?
No, it's worse than that. Those other dogs don't even talk. It's almost like he's assaulting a non-sentient thing, like interspecial, if you will.
You think Bill and Ted ever practiced making out?
Oh, you know they did, though.
In 500 Days of Summer, the dude spent a year and a half moping over some chick who just ended up with a Chad with a huge hog anyways. Queen Padme Armadillo.
All right, well. I hope we don't see more of this guy later. He's not today, but I mean, any of these subsequents. What did Stan Lee say in Mallrats now? Your friend seems obsessed with superhero sex organs? Yeah, pretty much. Seems like this guy's MO. He's got a very banky he's got a very banky existence going on there for sure. Asking students in 1999, what's your favorite movie? Let me tell you something, boys and girls. I was a junior and senior in high school in 1999. So this is my era. These are all of my people. Let's see what people were watching in 1999.
What up, Cass?
What up?
Favorite movie would have to be probably Titanic.
Office Space.
Let me tell you something. Titanic had a grip on girls like nobody's business, dude. When that movie came out, every girl in school was talking about it constantly. They were talking about going to see that thing 6, 10 times. They made us look at, we were like, we don't like Star Wars that much. We didn't go see Phantom Menace as many times as they went to see Titanic. And the overall box office proved it. Proved it. Man, girls like that fucking Titanic movie, boy. Woo!
I still know what you did last summer.
Oh, come on, a sequel? All right, let me look at this editing bay. Hold on. Yes, sir. Boy, we are working with that Sony. That is a DV editor right there. Ooh, I love it. That's my era of editing right there. That's like, I mean, I broke my stuff on VHS even, so.
Half-Baked. Varsity Blues so far. Well, I liked She's All That a lot, but my favorite movie was She's All That.
My favorite movie would probably be Trainspotting.
Trainspotting, interesting choice for 1999 high schooler. Well, there were people that watched it for sure.
My favorite movie had to be Basketball.
The best one that I've seen so far is American History X. It's so intense.
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket.
That's not, I mean, that's their favorite movie. They didn't say of the year or anything. I think a lot of people were going like of the year or of the last couple of years. I guess these guys were just big Kubrick hits. It happens. I mean, listen, man, I was into old ass movies, so I can't say nothing.
To the Carlton.
To the Carlton.
You both look Hawaiian today, dude.
Look at us. Not a cell phone in sight, and not everybody's a fat piece of garbage. The 90s weren't bad, everybody. The 90s weren't bad.
What up, Rome? What's going on? What's happening? What's up? Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's happening here. Like a fire drill or something. I don't know. Listen, man, the 90s were a good time, man. In 1999, I wrote an opinion for my high school paper. And technically, it wasn't an opinion. I wrote a review for my high school paper, a movie review. I wrote a movie review for Fight Club. And the editor of the paper, the teacher of the class and everything, was so cool that she allowed me to keep my initial title for my review, "We Are the All Singing, All Dancing Crap of the World." She allowed that as the title for my review for Fight Club. Crazy. I wish I would have gotten that paper. My mom probably has a copy of it somewhere. But that was I was in the school paper. I was one of the cool kids. I was in the school paper, so I did that, and there was another one that I had because we were. I was in high school right around Columbine. Well, not right around during Columbine, and they started this whole thing about how you have to like tuck in your shirt because we could all keep a million guns in our pockets apparently, and you had to wear like an ID badge. And I drew like kind of a political cartoon, if you will, saying here's one person and he's wearing all the appropriate things. He's got his little lanyard with his name tag and his face on it. He's wearing his shirt tucked into his pants there. And then I just drew another guy just standing there without his lanyard with his shirt tucked out. And I said, I forget what the first person was called, but the second one was called like terrorist or something like that. But that was the idea of like, and again, she was so cool that it was one of these things that was actively going against what the school was saying that we had to do. And she was like, that's fine. We're going to publish that. And so big giant props to her all the time for like, just letting us say what we want to say and do what we want to do and not really hampering us. And as teenagers that you could have told to shut up real easy and saying no way in hell that we're putting that in a paper. It's pretty cool.
Question for Mr. Goodman. It is an honor to ask my favorite actor of all time a question right now. So, you have a balance as Blake Jr. in this film where there are moments where you terrified me. I felt like I was watching Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, as a gangster.
Was this a what comedy show did this as a bit? I feel like there was some comedy podcast years ago that they were always like bringing up Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's. Does anybody know what the fuck I'm talking about? I feel like that's what this guy is doing here. To just no, it was. I feel like it was the McElroy kids. At some point, we're talking about the founder, Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's. I think that I could be wrong.
And then there were moments where you were the sweetest man imaginable.
Like Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's. I swear to Christ, if he says the name just like that a couple of more times, this is a fucking bit.
As an actor, I've seen you do this many times in various films, many amazing films.
This other film, you were just like Ray Kroc. Another film, you were just like the guy that runs A&W.
How do you find that balance as an actor to where you can just be so sympathetic and sweet and lovable, but then so terrifying?
Probably because that's who he is. I think deep down inside, that can be all people. I think it's the duality of man, as they say.
A moment later.
So the question's for John. How do you find the balance between being terrifying and also sweet?
I have the patience now. I mean, to wait and figure out where the balance comes. I was going to say organically, but man, it's such actor bullshit.
Listen, these are the things that actors should say if you want to get into our graces, everybody. We don't find your occupation to be the end all be all that some of you do think. You need to bust yourself down a little bit, humble yourself a little bit. Maybe we might respect you a little bit more if you did so, Hollywood.
My story arc. The inner meaning. It's just something that finds itself, and you have to trust it.
I was not satisfied with my answer. Could John Goodman give me another one that was like better and more clippable for TikTok, please?
You got to wrap it up.
He's like, with that, we got to get the fuck out of here before somebody asks another pretentious ass question. Let's go. Thanks, Dan. You ruined the entire thing. We were going to answer questions for another 3 hours, but your question was so garbage.
Guys, today we got a couple of things sent over from the folks over at the movie room.
No one ever sends me anything, and I don't want it to keep your stuff from me. I feel like that's what I got to do now in order to kind of, in order to grow this channel. I have to constantly tell you, I don't want it to grow. I don't want none of this. Stop it. Stop giving me things. Stop paying attention to me. Go away. Maybe that's what it takes. I don't know. I don't know how the internet fucking works. I just come on and start yapping about stuff. Come on.
So let's go ahead and bust this open and see what we got. Of course, with the movie room, they were always killing it with their packaging.
Sounds like the planet's gonna die. I don't care.
And you always get a nice little movie room sticker. Now, we got 2 films in today. This one right here, I believe it's called Calvary. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It's
a Calavera
French film, and I believe this is part of kind of the French extreme horror films.
Hope you got an international Blu-ray player there, Pally boy.
Very excited to check this one out. And this one might be my most anticipated release for this month, and that's got to be Salem's Lot.
Who's excited for Salem's Lot?
Let's go ahead and check these out, guys. All right, the first one we're taking a look is this right here. And like I said, I believe it's called Calvary, something like.
Man, I feel like you really should have looked this up before you came on here and started saying the name 58 times fucking wrong, maybe. I don't know, like
that. You've got a slip cover. Now, this one is a Blu-ray release, so we've got our Blu-ray disc right there.
Again, You better mention it to people. You better mention that you're going to need an international Blu-ray player here in the US of A. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to play that. You'll put it in a regular Blu-ray player, and 99% of the time, maybe not 90, maybe 90% of the time, it's going to look at you and go, does not compute, does not compute.
We're also getting a nice booklet to go with this release. And of course, some reversible artwork, which you know we're going to switch. There you guys go. And there's the first one we have got. Let's go with Calvaire. And the
That's bad. That's fine.
last one from the movie room is, of course, going to be this incredible film right here. I still can't believe that we are getting this released from Arrow Video. All right, and there you go. Let's take off that slip.
Dr. Pepper wrong. I'm sorry. Okay.
Let's start with the case right here. We've got the classic Salem's Lot artwork right there with everything on the back. Inside, we are getting a Salem's Lot population sticker. In here, we are getting 2 4Ks. We are getting the TV miniseries and the theatrical release as well. Plus some awesome reversible artwork. Let's take a look at that. Look at that right there. Let's go ahead and switch it. I mean, check that out, guys. Next in this release, we're also getting a reversible poster.
As you do. Folks at Arrow always be putting out good special editions.
Right there. And lastly, an awesome booklet. Of course, you guys know that scene. There's the back. Let's go ahead and flip through this, guys.
Woo! It's a chunker.
And there it is, guys. There's everything sent over from the movie room. We have got this release right here. I think it's called Calvaire. And then, of course, the iconic Salem's Lot. Guys, if you want to go ahead and grab these, make sure to head over to the movie room. Make sure to use my code MovieDin10. That'll save you a one-time 10% off your order. And be on the lookout for some reviews.
Abba, give him the chip, Costello. I'm not wearing one. Give him the slip on. Sounds funny. That's funny, see? You know, that's also the Abbott Costello inspired one of my favorite, the origin cartoon of Tweety, the first Tweety cartoon where he's not even fully a yellow bird or anything at this point, but it's clearly 100% Tweety. And they have an Abbott and Costello cat that are so great together, and just pulling off that Abbott and Costello, that kind of stuff. Just fantastic. If Mr. Hayes went here, I'd give him the Boyd.
Hey man, you know what's about the funniest bad movie of all time?
Oh, I stopped it right here because I'm like, I don't know. I know a lot of really crappy bad movies that are hilarious. Let's see what we got.
No, what's that? Quigley. It is
not Quigley Down Under, mind you, but Quigley. Here we go.
It's an ostensible children's film in which human explosion Gary Busey plays an immoral CEO who is turned into a Pomeranian by God.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, but I'm aware of its existence and can only imagine.
What? Perhaps to teach some sort of moral lesson, maybe just to be a dick. The degree of innocent incompetence on display in this movie deserves an essay. My favorite moment is probably Gary Busey undoubtedly improving the greatest movie line of all time.
Well, that's pretty much everything that Gary Busey is doing in the last 20 years in film, is they're just kind of letting him do whatever he wants to do, which, hey, everybody, I'm just going to say some weird shit right now. Hope you don't mind.
When after being presented with an undesirable outcome, his character says, I think I would rather brush a short person's teeth. God knows what Gary Busey has against short people. And
Gary Busey covers what's his nut there? Oh shit. Well, joke's gone because I can't remember a name.
Or their dental records. Wait, didn't I see Red Letter Media talk about this movie one time? Oh yeah, you very well may have. And do you know why? Why?
It's garbage.
Because of me. What? Yes, follow me down the path, if you will. In 2010, I, a nimble post-college graduate, heard about this movie from the commentary on a Tim and Eric DVD.
That sounds about like who would be watching that.
I proceeded to watch the movie with my similarly long-haired college buddy and laughed so hard I thought I was going to choke to death. The very next year, I personally emailed Michael Stoklasa of Red Letter Media to tell him that he should watch a thing called Quigley. To which he responded, "Thanks, we'll check it out. It sounds horrible." Oh my God. I got records. I say this not to brag. I'm just delighted by the idea that I am indirectly responsible for Macaulay Culkin seeing this.
Bravo, dear sir. Bravo.
Movie. I am the Forrest Gump of crap. Lay down before me, my brethren, and bask in my knowledge of shit. Why even bring this up after like 15 years? Just because it's kind of neat. I like feeling proud.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Randy Newman was the guy I couldn't think of. Thank you. I'm such a... Yeah, because Quigley Down Under is not bad. Quigley, though. Maybe bad.
I am under no legal obligation.
All right, this is a long one. All right, so strap in. This is going to be a long one. The #1 real estate agent on Elm Street. I think I put this. God damn, is this the last thing that I put in? Because this thing is long, and I'm looking at the rest of the timeline that's still here. Strap in, kids. Hopefully this is fucking funny. If it's not, we're going to kill it.
Obligation to disclose the existence of Freddy Krueger. Radon, yes, I have to disclose the silent killer, but Freddy Krueger? Technically, no, I don't.
Have you ever wanted to live in sunny Venice Beach, California, home of palm trees and the famous Venice canals? Warning, not the Italian ones. Do not expect gondola rides.
All right. We're off to an auspicious start.
Then call us at Elm Street Realty and let us help you.
And I know it's supposed to be bad, but
find the house of your dreams. No, wait, shit. We got to start over. No, I said dreams. They literally cannot go to sleep in these houses.
Anyone in the real estate game will tell you. It's all about the listings.
I feel like we need to change cameras if like we were closer in at this point. I know I'm just getting into minutia here, but it's what I'm seeing.
If you've got great houses in a great market, they'll sell themselves. And I am the exclusive real
should have started there and then gone back and then maybe back in at a different
estate agent for 6 mid-century modern houses in Los Angeles County, all on the same block.
I hate to tell you, but that house ain't mid-century modern, so that's just, not for nothing.
Look at this beautiful 2-story single-family home with 3 bedrooms, lots of closets for storage, and plenty of safety features. A perfect place to lay your head at night. No, wait, shit. No. They can't lay their heads down, not even for a second.
Is this gonna be the bit? Is this the bit? Okay.
By law, I have to disclose if a murder has taken place inside a house. But that's the beauty of Elm Street. All of the deaths there have taken place inside the dream world, so technically, it's not a homicide. I mean, is there a gaping hole in your bed sucking you into the afterlife and spewing a volcano of blood? Yes, but according to the LA County Coroner's Office, you died in your sleep.
Ooh la la, look at this luxurious bathroom with spa-style bathtub.
Listen, I don't think that this is a terrible idea. I just don't know that the execution is where I would want it.
You'll be whisked away.
Where's your shit, Adam? I get it. Fair enough.
In comfort when you close your eyes. No, don't close your eyes. No. It's not safe to fall asleep in a bathtub, but like definitely not this.
See what I tell you? That's the bit. The bit is like, okay, when we're going to come back and we're going to do this. Is the third time a charm according to the timeline here. We're doing it at least once more.
This one.
Is there a lot of turnover on Elm Street? Yeah, but I just tell the buyers that the previous owners redid one of the bedrooms and the entryway and then flipped it. Technically, not untrue.
All right, that's good. That's good. That's a good line. Technically not untrue.
Did someone say feature wall? And what about an outdoor shed perfect for a man cave?
I feel like this could be judged up to be funny, but we're not quite there. I think brevity is the soul of wit, as they say.
And just look at this unfinished basement, which will leave you asking, wait, why does this house in Southern California have a basement?
very fine question.
With plenty of storage in this unused furnace for all of your mother's keepsakes from that time she committed a vigilante murder with all the other parents on this block.
Yes. Yeah. Well, as you do.
Hey, that happened at Freddy Krueger's boiler room, not one of these houses. And again, I am under no legal obligation to disclose the existence of Freddy Krueger. Radon, yes, I have to disclose the silent killer, but Freddy Krueger? Technically, no, I don't.
So call now and get the house that you've always dreamt of, that you've always wished for at Elm Street Realty, located just down the street from the Katya Institute for the Study of Sleep Disorders.
You see there, that's a reference to part 3, The Dream Warriors. We're the Dream Warrior.
Oh God, the Nancy Thompson case? Yeah, you don't forget a thing like that. Girl comes in for a sleep study. 10 minutes in, she reaches under the covers and pulls out a dirty men's fedora, and she's saying, I just pulled this out of the dream world. Girl, I don't care what you call it. We got to start you on antibiotics because you probably have a UTI in your dream world.
See, that's another sketch, but that's like you're doing too much here.
Look, I'm not selling murder houses that people are desperate to leave. I'm selling family homes with motivated sellers and a short closing in one of the most sought-after neighborhoods in Los Angeles. I mean, it's zoned for residential. I wish it was commercial, then I could sell these lots to Yoshinoya Beef Bowl and I wouldn't have to worry about it. But it's like they say in the used car business. When life hands you a lemon, you sell it to someone who's never heard of lemons before.
Warning, house is not for sleeping, napping, siestas, catching a few winks, or otherwise dozing off.
Do I sleep well at night? Well, yeah, I live in Playa Vista, not Elm Street.
That's it, everybody. Listen, it could have been a lot worse. There was hit and miss with some of the jokes, but I feel like if you would have gotten in there and done a little bit of editing and stuff like that, narrowed it down a little bit, maybe got it to about half as much as you did, maybe it would have been good. I think people might say the exact same thing about this here program as we are clocking in at about 2 hours and 40 minutes here, and we've been going on for quite some time. I want to thank all of you for coming around, hanging out, hitting that like and subscribe button, hitting the hype button when you do, because that means you're an awesome, awesome person, and I appreciate all of you. And I got to be honest with you, it was okay. It was an okay week. It's you never quite know with TikTok Trash Tuesday. It's all over the place. But what I do know is that come Sunday evening, we are coming right back here at 8 p.m. Eastern, as we always do every Sunday. We are continuing on with our March of Dime series. That is when we are talking all about the dime pieces in these movies. This week, we are doing Fight Club, which with Brad Pitt at kind of like the height of his handsomeness there and everything. And I want you guys to know that I am doing you the biggest of favors by reviewing this movie when we are, because that movie is coming out on 4K in not too long, and we're reviewing this. So I'm watching it on DVD one more time just before 4K. That seems a little bit bananas, but I am doing it as a sacrifice for you, the people. And we hope that you can sacrifice a little bit of your time Sunday evening showing up right here on HMP, letting us know in the chat, and doing all those great things, man. Again, thank you guys so much. Make sure you become one of the dirty babies over at Patreon, patreon.com/HMP. Love all of you awesome, awesome people. And that is it, everybody. We have done another TikTok Trash Tuesday. And we'll see you here next week when we're doing the exact same thing again. See you later, everybody. Nighty night.